Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some fun. It's time for Fed by Farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We're back with another one. This podcast takes us to 1 million downloads.
That's insane.
1 million downloads. Now, bear in mind, we only really post, occasionally we do the twice a week. We did do a Friday chat last week where Iona talked about her fetishes. Do go back and have a look at that. We did. I've straight away went on a tangent. I want to talk about 1 million downloads, and straight away I want to talk about a comment we had that said, actually, I said it was, what phrase I used to describe the things that were happening in that book you're reading?
Smut.
I said smut and, not delinquent, a word when something's a bit uncouth, a bit
Raunchy?
frowned upon. No, raunchy's all right. Deviant. And they made it correctly, pulled me up and said, it's only deviant. It's not actually deviant. To some people, it's the norm.
Great point.
And you're into what you're into.
Absolutely.
So don't sit and judge. And you're right. And I'm only half joking about the deviant thing. I'm just jealous. That's the truth, right? Okay, that's the truth. I'm jealous. I'm angry. Okay. What a way to go. That guy that died in the book. What a way to go, I tell you. Robert Burns would write poems about that. I'm sure Robert Burns was maybe into that. But back to the million. Watch the Friday chat to hear what we're talking about. But back to the 1 million downloads.
Yes, so that's audio downloads.
Audio only. We've done over 1 million on YouTube by miles.
Almost 2 million, I think, on YouTube.
By miles on YouTube. But YouTube's easier.
Why is that?
Well, in YouTube, your video pops up to people.
Right, okay.
And it can be seen by people. A podcast, people have to look for the podcast.
Right,
Podcasts don't
okay.
just pop up in your feed.
Okay.
You just see the podcast you
So 1
subscribe
million times people have gone and clicked.
play.
They've set,
and physically. I know they've clicked it on YouTube too, but also folk just pop up, look at it and go away. Audio, generally people want to listen to it. They invest in it. They hear it all. That's why now podcast is the top form of advertising.
Yes. Yeah.
Because people are committed to what they're listening to. They don't skip it. Like YouTube, everybody skips the ads, generally speaking.
Whereas audio...
With audio, it's in your ear. Your hands are busy working.
Yeah.
That's why, Crystalyx and Headwatch are getting such a good deal. But less than a year. Actually, about a year. It would be 2 years in November, I think. Mm-hmm. And we've done roughly just a podcast a week. We've done the odd Friday chat. It's unbelievable. See, we're in the top 1% of all podcasts. All podcasts. What? Yeah, no, I was looking at the figures. We're in the top 1% of all podcasts. Probably higher than that. I just can't find any figures to go more than that. If you get over 5,000 downloads a week, you are, in the first week of a podcast coming out, you're in the top 1%.
That is insane.
And we're doing in the first week, we're generally doing 12.
But don't you think a lot of that's loyal listeners? So although our podcasts are niche, it's like loyal people week in, week out. Like, how, do you ever you'll maybe go on somebody's podcast and you'll listen to one because that specific guest interests you?
Yes,
like somebody
I see.
famous.
Yeah.
But I feel like this podcast, it's just the same people are backing it every week.
Yes, that's true. But then that would be the same of a lot of good... all podcasts, because to be successful and get regular views, you need that. Joe Rogan, people listen to it for Joe Rogan, whereas I'm like you say, I'll see like Matthew Walker. Probably the best podcast I've ever listened to is Matthew Walker on Joe Rogan. He's a sleep specialist, scientist.
Yeah.
He talks about the power of sleep, and the science behind sleep is
it's
unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. But whereas I wouldn't really listen to a Joe Rogan podcast.
No, yes. So you've gone on for the guest.
So I might listen to him, or I might listen to Trump just because it's like, it's interesting. Elon Musk, not because I agree with them in any way. Obviously, like with all of these mad people, they say some things that are good, lots of things that are terrible. Nigel Farage is another one, but they're interesting to listen to in a podcast, especially in that format, because you're not used to seeing Donald Trump or these guys on this informal, because Joe Rogan just leaves it uncut, chat about anything.
Just talking.
Yeah, but I wouldn't listen to him specifically.
No.
So thank you to all our loyal, regular listeners. The reach of the podcast and the power of the podcast and everything is incredible. And on that note, I have two special mentions just to do this week. This week we're hearing from Mr. Colin Russell of Ramstane Farm.
Okay.
Now, Colin at Ramstein is... Iona wasn't here for this one. Lizzie was sat in on this one. So Colin was at... he is basically a neighbour to us here.
Oh, he?
Yeah, he's at Cunningham Head, and
Right.
he's mainly pasture reared poultry.
Okay.
And laying hens, and he does it beautifully. Like moves them all the time to fresh pasture.
Yeah, nice.
Has this UFO self-made. He's a mechanical engineer to trade. This
Right.
unbelievable coop. He's now rearing broilers, and he's one of the good guys in that
Okay.
space. And no offense, but some people in that space are like, this is the only way to do it. What you're doing is wrong.
Yep.
And they slag other folk. Colin's not like that. Colin just is trying to do something for himself and his family.
Yep.
And produce a fantastic product. We've actually left us a couple of chickens for the freezer when he came to visit. We've had one already. Definitely better.
good.
There is
Really?
no question.
Like less watery?
And this is going to sound stupid, right? This is going to sound stupid, but I feel it was a bit more like, I remember when I had goose, and it's like there's just this flavour to it, and it's just like,
Okay.
there's just something
Like
about it.
fattier maybe?
No, there's no fat. No, they're lean, like, just like, not chewier, but it's like there's just a bit more to it.
More bite to it.
A bit more like, not like beef either, just a bit more like goose. Like
Okay.
if you've had goose, I sound pure posh now. I had goose at Lizzie's, that's why.
I was about to slag you off. for
Goose,
sounding
by the
like
way,
you're-
is the best.
Yeah, you're raved about that.
Oh, goose is so good. But it's a bit more like that.
Okay.
So beautiful, big as well, strong, beautiful chicken. Lovely breasts on it. Lovely breasts. So no, good bit of chicken. So yeah, we're going to hear from Colin all about that very soon. Obviously gives Lizzie and I lots of ideas for what we could do. He has 16 acres. We have 16 acres. There's lots to talk about. So that's coming very soon. But firstly, I want to do 2 shout outs.
Okay.
One is for Mr. Graham Lofthouse, who was on the podcast last year. And after coming on the podcast, he did his on-farm top sale of his Ultimate Easy Care rams, and it was flying. He had guys come up from, I think he said he had some up from Shropshire, bought a couple of tups, and just from hearing them on the podcast.
No way.
So I was speaking to him the other day about tups and stuff, and I've still got his one from last year, so I don't need another one because I just like it for tupping my hogs, and we'll use it again this year because I think they're perfect for hogs.
Yeah.
Narrow heads, narrowish bodies, but solid with meat. They put the weight on. And he's saying his top sales on the 16th of September. So, Cammy, if you could mention it, just mention it. So, 16th of September, he's doing it on Martai this year. So, you don't have to go.
Brilliant.
Carlisle, I think James Little or somebody at Carlisle's managed to get themselves in there on that job. So, the on-farm sale has been done through Carlisle.
Amazing.
And you can do it on Martai. So, you don't even need to travel up from Shropshire this time.
That's perfect. That's great. Good shout from them.
He's sussing it. He's going. And he's got ewe lambs for sale too. So, there, that's the mention for that. The other one, I went to look at a sheep dairy
Right.
to milk sheep.
Right. Okay.
So this is James Jhadwin down in, he's technically Cumbria, but he's in the Yorkshire Dales.
When
Kirkby
were you there?
Lonsdale is where he's from.
When did you go there?
I ran down one day when you were on holiday.
Did you?
Yeah, just down and back in a morning, really.
Right. Aye.
And so I went down to see James and his sheep milking set up. Now he's got the sheep for sale and the parlour, absolute belter of a parlour. I'll put some clips on the YouTube there. All, I think you call it herringbone style. They walk in, they eat, and then they walk out. Rapid exit. Great system. I just thought we have Anne Dorwood actually at Dunlop Dairy. Anyone that knows Ayrshire, Anne milks goats and she makes her own cheese. So, and I spoke to Anne and she would have some scope for me to make cheese with this. And I thought sheep game, milking sheep, cheese, even just the sheep's milk. There's a real big market for this because nobody's doing it. Like there's a real big market and there's real good money in it. But I went and seen James. I saw the setup and I just thought, where we are in life now, time.
Right. Okay.
Time would be the thing. You'd need staff. A lot of things involved in it. We obviously have the facilities and the shed space and things like that, but I just get scared off a bit with how all in
Big
you need to be on
commitment.
it.
Yeah,
It's not just
big
a side
commitment.
hustle.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
right.
It would need to be like your main thing, really, and your main focus to do it right. So it wasn't for me, but I said to James I would mention it in the podcast.
So he's selling it.
He's selling it,
Okay.
full system. I thought very fairly priced.
Okay.
I don't want to mention the price on here, let James discuss that, but I will put James's details on the screen and in the show notes below because I don't have them off the top of my head. So if you want to look on your audio and you want the details, will be in the show notes. And if you want to hit him up and speak to him about going into sheep dairy, I honestly think if you're on a smaller block, there's a ton in it.
Does it make it? Yeah. What did you taste the sheep milk?
We can also put you in touch. If you're Scotland, I can also put you in touch with a man that would buy almost all the milk. That's how I first heard about it.
Right.
Yeah. A chap that was messaged me saying, listen, my supplier, who was James, is giving up. And various reasons with James giving up, he has other work commitments and
Okay.
bad hip and various things,
Yeah.
and just
Time for
because
a
it is
change.
full on. It's a full. It needs to be our main thing. What was the question you asked me?
Did you try the sheep milk?
Oh no, we didn't have it. I didn't actually have any sheep milk because they weren't being
Oh,
milked.
right, okay.
Just now they're just running. Well, he's just weaned them, so
Right, okay.
they're dried off. But really interesting. I actually got the notion after listening to a Michael Blanche podcast.
Right.
Michael Blanche did a podcast with a lovely couple down south that are moving to France, and they milk sheep and did tremendous money on it.
Wow.
Really interesting.
And is it one type of breed? Like, is it?
No, you can milk any sheep really, but
Right.
yeah. The name's just went out my head there. I absolutely know the breed, and it's just went out my head. There is a popular milk breed.
Okay.
Friesland, is it? Friesland.
Okay.
I want to say it's Friesland.
Friesland.
Yeah, it's just went out my head a wee bit there. But you can, there's various types
Okay.
that you can milk.
Interesting.
But yeah, I just thought one day, Rodney.
I feel like with you, if it was like 10, 12 years down the line, the kids are more involved with the farm.
Oh, if
blah,
I've
blah,
got slave
blah,
labour, no
then
bother.
you can.
Yeah, slave labour, no bother. But
not-
listen, we've chatted enough there. We'll get Colin on because his family will be sitting here waiting to watch this. And
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness,
They've li-
imagine.
they've
They'll be zapping it.
They've literally just jumped on to watch Colin's interview, and some people they've never seen before are waffling on about sheep dairies and ultimate easy care rams. It's like, the most obscure types of sheep ever. Will we dive into it?
Let's do it.
Here's Colin Russell. And we're joined by Mr. Colin Russell, Ramstane Farm.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just a wee tangent just to start, as I say that out loud there. Whenever I see the Ramstane Farm thing, now you're very local to us, just
Yeah.
the I was going to say, I suppose it is, edge of Comals, outside Kilmarnock. I always think of Ramstein.
Everyone does.
Do they?
Some people even slightly start to spell it that way.
Aye. I don't.
Ramstein,
Do you know
yeah,
what
the
Ramstein
band.
No,
is?
I don't actually. Go
You don't-
on, I don't know.
Ramstein,
Is
it's
it
a-
The German metal band.
Yeah,
Oh,
like really,
right.
really.
Like
Right, okay, no.
heavy. Yeah.
Aye, it's all in
Right,
German
okay.
and it's like screaming, just
Yeah.
screaming at the microphone. So, but Ramstein is the opposite of that,
That's right. Used to be called Ramstone because it was a whinstone quarry
right?
back in early 1800s, so like late 1700s. My uncle had bought me a map for one of my birthdays. He'd managed to find in the archives, and it's got like the quarry on it. I never knew when we first moved there, and then when he gave me that map, and I went out back, and I went, of course, and I'm like, there's big like rock faces going
Yep.
down the river. So they obviously used to blast it out and take all the.
And
So I
it
don't-
shows
I
on that
don't-
map Ramstone.
It's Ramstone, so I don't know when it converted to stone. No idea what if that's.
That'll be one of the ones over time. Folk would just constantly call it Ramstein.
just-
Aye, because
then-
whenever we order stuff, it always comes a parcel. Would always come Ramstone because people
okay.
don't hear you,
Oh, they
especially with
just
the Scottish
assume,
accent. If you're
right.
speaking
Yes.
to, if you're buying from like England or something like that, and you say Ramstein, they just think it's stone, but you're saying
But
it in
you're
a
sitting with a
Scottish
twang on
accent.
it. Aye.
Yes, aye, okay, yeah.
Maybe that's how it came about. I don't know.
Yeah, aye. It's so. And what do you do at that farm?
So our main business is poultry, what we call pastured poultry. So that is like high rotational grazing, effectively with the chickens, moving them daily or every other day, and they're basically on really mobile coops, and it's trying to get them access to fresh pasture constantly. Like kind of suppose what you call it, we call it kind of high welfare if you want as well, sort of thing. But it's trying to create a kind of natural system between the herbivores in front grazing and the birds coming in behind to clean up, and you're kind of trying to mimic that system. So we do, that's our main business with the layers, and then we do broilers seasonally, which we've just started selling this year publicly. I've been doing it for ourselves for a few years. And then as well as that, we also have, we're just building up a silvopasture orchard. So like silvopasture, just like incorporating trees and pasture land. And we've got apple trees mixed in amongst with natives and stuff. And the idea of that is we'll start getting fruits off of that so that we can maybe do some cider in the future.
Yeah.
And then we also do interplanted between them soft fruits. So mainly currants, red currants, gooseberries, yostaberries, and raspberries. And again, the idea with that is in the future we'll get a soft fruit crop as well. And it's kind of trying to create more enterprises on the same piece of land, if we can, to try and, because 16 acres is, you'd struggle to do sheep and cows on 16 acres and make money, because like we base our cow numbers on like winter grazing, and it's like 3 cows.
Yeah.
Sort of thing for us. So yeah, that's why we decided, and I think that's why a lot of people want to do poultry.
Yeah, and interestingly, 16 acres is what we actually own here.
That's what
Yeah.
you've got here. Yeah, exactly.
We actually own 16 acres here as well. That's, and the stuff you're talking about there. And I've been to your farm as well. I've actually done a piece for landlord.
That's
I'll
right,
try and
that's
link
right.
it into the
It was a couple
notes
of
of
years
this
back,
if it's
yeah.
still in the iPlayer. Is it still in the iPlayer?
Actually don't know. No idea.
No, near that. But we did a piece there with the poultry side of things.
Yeah,
like-
that was more focusing on the soy-free feed, I think, was the kind of main
From
aspect
Norvite.
to that from Norvite. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the kind of, we developed.
Do you still work with Norvite?
We still work with Norvite. Yeah.
We
We
still
still do.
dealing with Jordan, or who do you deal with?
No, we deal with David
okay.
McClellan. He's the technical director.
Right, okay.
I mean, you can kind of deal with a lot of people because I think they're family run. They're really easy to work with. So
Norvite.
yeah, Norvite.
Yeah.
So.
Jordan Hibbard, who's actually just kind of along the road for you a little bit, is who I deal with. But
right, okay.
He may be
I
into
did- I did-
livestock and, well, that sort of
Well,
thing,
yours are
maybe.
very specialist
Ah,
things. They've
specialist.
made it
Side,
for you,
so-
did they not?
Yeah. So we'd went round multiple mills and said we want to try and make a feed without using soy because Jill has a soy allergy,
Okay.
and
Jill being
my wife. Sorry, yeah,
just for
should mention
that.
that. Yeah.
Jill is actually
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
in the room with us behind the camera.
The boss.
The
you
boss,
know.
yeah.
Absolutely. No, Jill's got a soy allergy, so we always we used to buy Alan and Page's feed, the organic feed company.
Yep.
Theirs was soy free, and we do that because the protein in soy that causes the allergy can be passed into the yolk of an egg. So you can pick up like a kind of secondary kind of
Irritation.
allergy irritation. So some people have, when Jill eats eggs that have got soy in them, sometimes she just feels a bit ugh after it,
it's
you know,
still
just
a
a wee
bit
bit
there.
yucky. A bit like if you just eat too many eggs, you can get that same feeling. So that was always why we wanted to be soy free. So when we were looking, the problem was when we were scaling up the 20 kilo bag feed from Alan and Page, they can't do scale with you. They can't give you lots of discount and stuff. The model's not set up for that. So we got to a point where like we kind of need to find like a proper mill that we can get feed from. So we went round mills and literally everyone just said, never going to happen. You can't have it without soy. It doesn't work.
Right.
And we were like, all right, okay. And then we phoned up Norvite, spoke to David, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sure we can try and figure something out."
Yeah.
You know. So that was really nice to have them be like so positive about it and want to help. And I was like, great. So yeah, we started with them, and then we've always been iterating it and adjusting it. So like between summer and winter and stuff, we adjust the feed to help the birds.
Does it come? Is it like a pellet or is it coming like
No,
a
it's just
meal?
mash,
A meal
yeah.
mash, right?
They
okay.
don't have a pelleting plant.
No, okay.
So you can pellet. Most people in industry, I don't think, use pellets because it's just an added cost.
Yeah.
And most systems are set up to use mash anyway. The reason you would use pellets over mash is for minimising waste.
Yeah.
So is mash done? Is it done through like a bruiser and just?
It's just yeah. So they have the mobile mills that
Yep.
they can send to farms. So they just put it on a mobile mill and it just mixes it. You know,
It's a size of chicken
crushes
would
it
eat, I
up.
guess.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Just
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Just chops. All
Yeah.
the ingredients get chopped and
Chopped
mashed
down.
yeah, they all
together.
get chopped, mashed together. Basically they can set how fine you want the grain to be and stuff like that.
And obviously, you've been now working with them for a while there. But like, what's the kind of cost of that kind of feed? Like, what's it
It's
costing per ton?
expensive. Well, it's organic, so that's important because organic feed is expensive. But per ton now we're £730, which is a lot. I mean, if you're non-organic and you're just a commercial, 15,000 birds, you're probably paying like $290 or something like that a ton.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a big cost, and that's just an economies of scale thing. We're buying 3 ton at a time.
Okay,
You know, if
right.
you're
And
doing
they've
this,
got
if you're
making
doing
it
this
for
in your
you.
kind of standard scale,
And
you're
you want
bringing in
somebody to
27 ton
custom.
lorries.
Yeah, you want
Yeah.
somebody to custom make you something
Aye, it's
for only
tricky.
3 tons.
Exactly. So, and 3 tons really their
Are
minimum
you taking
order.
3 tons because that's the size of your bin, or just because
Well, no,
that's the minimum order?
3 tons the minimum they can have because below 3 ton it's harder to mix in the mill because it's like a 6 ton mill
Yeah.
or
Aye.
a 7 ton mill. So sometimes you get inconsistencies, but we actually go through about 3 ton a month, so it works for us
Yeah.
quite well. So we just put in like a monthly order.
Yeah.
And there's one other farm. Well, there's a couple other farms that kind of take the feed as well. So we kind of do, if somebody's putting in an order, sometimes they'll phone me and say, so-and-so needs an order, but he doesn't need 3 ton. Do you need some stuff? And I'll say, add whatever you need on to make it up.
Yeah.
And I'll just
do
take
they
it.
call it the Ramstein mix?
Aye, they do actually. Yeah,
Right,
well, I've
that's
asked them.
cool.
I've asked them if they would.
Oh
You know,
okay.
so I probably should have tried and cut a better deal, but
Aye,
just a
aye,
name.
just-
But
I'm sure they'll do that for you. But no, that's because what's Lizzie? You do at home.
I'm
Lizzie
a
and
brother.
Devon is organic,
Free range organic broilers outside. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Got about 12,000 on the ground at one point.
And it's like we tents on sledges.
I do like 3,000 on a site, and then move them around on sledges afterwards.
Oh, right.
Um,
So you just sledge them about and move the electric fence.
Is the sledge like floored, or is it like open and
No, there's nothing on the floor.
There's
It's just a sledge.
just
Yeah.
open,
So you pick up the tracks and just put it along, and it's got a flap at the back, which obviously lets the dung.
Yeah, it's like is it insulated?
Yeah, it's all well insulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we're
so-
basically like a smaller version of that. We have the coupe you would have seen, which we don't use anymore, the green polytunnel one. So we had the silver kind of fancier one, and then we had the green polytunnel one. But those green polytons we don't use anymore, so we've just lifted them off the big frame they were on.
Okay.
And they just had little base rails that they were on, and I basically just made an A-frame and welded up an A-frame and hooked on the front, and that's just open to the ground, and we just have that. And then what we do is every day we just go in with the mule and we just pull it forward the length of itself.
Yeah.
And it's just got like a curtain sided end on it with like a zip door. So we just open the zip door and we pull it, the birds just go out the back. So we don't
Yeah, as you go
crash or
forward,
damage
they
anybody.
all
Yeah,
go
yeah.
out the back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've reused those coops
So we just reuse them. Yeah,
and took them down from where they are, so they're on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably very similar to what you're doing, just on a smaller scale.
It's just a smaller scale.
I guess like the layers, they like to roost, don't they? A bit more maybe. Do they roost?
Yes, of
and then
course.
of the broilers will be like they sit on the
so
floor. I
the-
think.
Aye, this is the broilers you do this
That's
with.
the
then?
broilers I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
layers have, I've built almost. So I'm a mechanical engineer.
Oh, very good.
That's what I
Handy,
did
that.
originally. That's what I started in life.
Yeah, the coop for it. We'll put it on if anybody's
So-
watching this on YouTube. The coop is unbelievable.
I've made another one since then. It's
Have
a bit
you?
better.
You selling the old one?
Sorry.
You selling
No,
the
no.
old one?
I use both of them now.
Oh, right,
so that's what
right,
I'm saying. So we've got 700
Very
layers.
good. Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
we use 6 to 700. So we use those two coops together. But
Would you make one to order? Or is it just be too expensive to
I
make one
probably
to
would,
order?
but it'd probably that's the
Time.
thing. It's probably too
Time.
expensive. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
making it off. I'm literally buying raw materials in, using my engineering skills,
Yeah.
designing it on CAD and building
Yeah,
it
but by the
myself.
time you add your time onto it,
Add your time onto it and add some profit that you need to make.
Yeah.
It would be.
because we looked at one in Germany, was it?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's basically what I did. I went to Germany and looked at all different designs and said, I like this bit, I like that bit, I don't like that
Right.
bit, and basically went from there.
Add
And
it together.
What I like about yours, and obviously people will be able to see it if they're watching, is I suppose the fact that, and I think this was your idea too, is the fact that it's like mirror finished. So
oh yeah. Because it's how we
okay.
run shooting.
yeah, because so
Yeah.
it's almost like reflecting
You can't
the grass.
see it
The
nearly.
grass.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost
I
like
know,
it's,
that
it's not invisible, but
Yeah, but the
it's
idea.
strangely
Yeah.
blends in a weird way.
Yes, I know what you mean. The new one's actually white because
Oh,
I've switched
cheaper,
No,
cheaper.
I've switched to like insulated sandwich panels.
Right.
Because what I can basically do is I can basically make the side out of one big panel. I just get it all like CNC cut and then get
So
the
rather than all
manufacturer
the
sent to
pop
me.
rivets or whatever you had to do,
Yeah, that
it's just
that
done.
was literally when I was in the middle of doing it. I said I'm never doing this again. It took us 2 weeks just to sheet it, and it should never have taken 2 weeks. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
we get it now as a side, and we make a like a steel skeleton, and we just like bond it on,
Okay.
which has been another like big challenge and interesting thing to learn, but it's really good because then you've still got an insulated coop, and it actually is when you bond it all together, it's structural. So we don't need as much steel work.
and still with like solar panels on it.
Solar panels. This one's also got a wind turbine on it.
Right, wow.
Or you like
Geez,
400
that is so
because
fancy.
in winter when you hit about November, you don't get enough solar to keep the batteries going.
Right,
Okay.
So there's like a 5 kilowatt hour
And-
lithium battery in it.
Yeah, and what are the batteries for again?
Water freeze.
For doors, feeders. So there's a motor runs a feed system, so it's like an auger system. So
Yeah.
it's a hopper in the back. The new one, the old one that you saw
Oh,
didn't
some
have the
fancy
hopper.
shed this. I can see it now. Like
The
it's
new ones-
all these add-ons.
See the
sound quite-
aluminium one? It's unreal. Look, it looks like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Aye,
Yeah.
aye.
Yeah.
So you just fill a hopper.
With a
So we
feed
fill a
on the
hopper
back,
at the
right?
back, and there's basically the bottom is an auger, and
Yeah.
it pulls it through, and there's drop downs,
Yeah,
and they drop
okay, I
into
know
the
what you
feeder
mean,
systems. It's a standard system for poultry houses.
Yeah, yeah.
We've just made a really short, like
Short
6-meter
version.
version of it. So there's power to run that. The lights is the main one because the lights in winter stay on all day. Because it's so dark inside.
Okay.
In
okay.
winter there is windows, but even then, in a dull Scottish day, it's pretty dark.
Aye,
So
it
we
is.
always have lighting inside, and we give them lighting as well up to a certain time. We keep lighting consistent. We used to not do that. We used to
Right.
let them have natural lighting,
Natural, but-
and then what we found out was happening was because they're effectively jungle fowl. They're used to coming from like the equator. So their DNA is used to having very consistent white all year round.
This is hens, is it?
Hens, because they're all
What's Jungle Phil? Is that the breed?
Jungle Phil's what
Jungle
hens
Phil,
originate
sorry.
from. Jungle Phil, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Okay.
So
What type of hens is it?
what type of hens that we've got?
I mean, you've brought us some fantastic looking eggs
Oh,
there.
it's
but they're white.
it's a commercial white leghorn.
Oh, okay.
Is that a normal
so-
breed, is it?
Ones we've got in the yard are cross leghorn with a silky.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I think different breeders do their own different versions. So like ours is called a W80. You know, that's its code name effectively, which I always find a bit weird that we stick in letters and numbers to
Made in
breeds,
the
but-
lab.
Yeah, exactly. But effectively it's a white leghorn.
And
know.
do you choose that because you like the white eggs to be different?
So we used to do 3 colours. We used to do white, brown and blue.
Yeah.
And that was kind of initially one of the soy free, and that was kind of our USP, if you like.
Yeah.
But what we found was that sometimes the different breeds didn't all necessarily get on. So the browns were generally more aggressive,
Okay.
the whites were generally less aggressive, and the blues were very docile. So what used to happen was the blues would tend to be getting a bit of bullying happen, or if there was any bullying, it'd be the blue layers that would be getting it. So that was one point. But then we were getting from year to year, we were trying different breeds to see what would work. But what we were finding was we weren't buying from like commercial hatcheries, and we were getting real inconsistencies in birds. So we were getting years where we had birds that were great, and then we would get next year birds that came and they were actually really ill.
Yeah.
And like they were literally day one, they started dying, and we were going, what's going on here? And we have to get like the poultry vet out, and then we test them, and they go, well, they've got IB, they've got infectious bronchitis, which is like, you know, a really common disease. It's a COVID for birds, effectively. And that kills their way, and then they never recover from that. And then you have to make a decision, well, are we flogging a dead horse here? Or, so then we're having to get rid of birds early, and then you're having to wait months for new birds. And
Yeah, okay.
total
breaks the supply.
financial disaster.
Yeah.
Aye,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we decided to try commercial strains, and then when we tried these white birds, we were meant to get some of the first. It's Highline that made them. So the Highline's a breeder down south. When we were meant to get some of the first batch that they were ever going to do of these white birds, because white eggs are starting to make a bit of a comeback.
Okay.
It used to be, I think, pre-war or just post-war was all white, and then I forget when it was, 70s, 80s or something like that. I'm not very good in my history. It changed to brown eggs, you know, mainly, whereas like in America it's all white.
Yeah, it is all white.
You know,
in
it's
America.
the other way
It's all
about.
white in America.
We've
which
had white eggs here, like maybe the last couple of months. It changes occasionally in the box, doesn't it? Now it says that's on the box. It says brown or white because it just
Oh, you
gets-
mean the box for the shop?
yeah. It just
Right, okay.
they never
Aye.
know. I think what's
Right.
coming, but yeah.
So but the like Highline are saying that they're doing more and more of these white birds
Right,
now.
okay.
There's more and more people asking for them.
Yeah.
But when we got these white birds, the amount that they ranged outside and foraged for like the amount they scratched at the ground and foraged for their own food was
Yeah.
just amazing. It was unbelievable. And then the quality of the yolks was just brilliant. Better than
Yeah.
any bird we've had. So I said, right, these are the
That'll
birds.
do. Yeah.
And by chance it happens to be that they're very light eaters. You know, they're very efficient. And,
Okay, that's good
and
then, yeah.
they're very small frames, you know.
But sometimes, as much as obviously you're trying to do, you know, talk about USPs and do something outside the box a bit,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, like the money and time that's been put into these things, it's like we went up to the research place that does all the fruit and veg, the Hutton Institute,
Institute.
James Hutton Institute, and they show you what's actually been done to make like it was blackberries, I think I went to see,
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
black cunts, and they're nothing like what black cunts were
Oh, do you mean like the breeding programs
Aye.
to get
Yeah.
where they're now?
Yeah,
Aye,
like
so
the
that they're
money-
high yielding.
in time
And the
it's been put
years,
in. So
just
look, it's not
aye.
by chance that these birds, you know, eat less,
Yeah.
range more.
They call the white leghorn
better
the
natured.
bird for hard
It's-
times, I think,
Right,
something
okay.
like that.
There we
I
go.
think that's why America use them, because they eat the littlest and they produce the most eggs.
Yeah.
But the downside of that is like with poultry, it's like when you're breeding and stuff, you're pulling at strings, and when you lengthen one string, it shortens the other.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And so it's like
Priorities of which one?
yeah, exactly. So it's genetic priorities. So the downside of that is these birds are incredibly feed sensitive. So if I was out and I came back and they'd ran out of feed and they'd been out of feed for like 8 hours, they'll drop 20% weight overnight, and it'll take them 2 weeks before they even start picking back up.
Yeah.
So that's the downside of that. And then also, like in winter, we would up the energy content of the feed and stuff to help them with their heat loss. You know,
Yeah, though.
Swallows
She's the
swallows
go
are still
for it.
here, by the way, folks. They're literally shitting right behind Lizzie. I think we've got it positioned. You're all right now. But yeah, It's
so like
not all perfect, but still,
exactly.
your system, they should never run out of feed, really.
No, exactly. That's the
It's
whole
automated.
point. It's all automated now. The silver coop, I still have to handball bags, and I've not got round to putting my hopper on the back of that one yet. I need to do that, and I've been so busy. I've just not
How do you
had the
manage
time.
the water in the winter? Is it all contained in the shed? Or
Yeah, so with the silver coop, I actually put the water tank on the outside, and I'm going to have to change that to the inside
For
because
freezing.
it can occasionally freeze.
Yeah.
Not so much the tank itself because it's quite a mass of water.
No,
in there.
fair enough.
We don't get much
But in the
cold
pipes,
weather
yeah.
in the pipe
and the
coming out.
connections and stuff.
The newer coop, it's inside, so it's
Oh, you were
always
Yeah,
saying-
the
fine.
heat
Yeah.
from the chickens. You'll have
Yeah.
a heater in that as well, do you? Do you have a gas
No,
heater or
no,
just the
no.
body heat?
Aye,
Just the
some
body
heat,
heat
some heat
chickens.
in a shed.
To be fair, I always noticed that with Lizzie's
Steam
chickens.
coming out and often.
Yeah.
Especially those insulated sheds at yours.
Forget the exact temperature, but it's like 40 or 41 degrees. A chicken's body, it's higher than humans.
All right.
Aye.
So when you have like 300 or 400 birds at night
Yes,
roosting, I mean,
serious.
you can go in and touch the perch bars on the new one are steel. When you go in and touch them, the steel bar's warm because they're emitting
Yeah, so much heat.
So that's why we insulate them, because they're effectively the heaters. So you don't want to lose that heat, otherwise
Yes,
they're constantly putting out energy,
Oh, okay, yeah.
heating, and then you're having to feed them more to keep them happy. You know,
And your 700 layers, you're saying there,
yeah, 700.
Like,
yeah.
you're doing 700 eggs a day then, are you? Or how's it
Aye,
work?
well, we started with 700. The foxes had a few. Unfortunately,
we have that problem.
that's our one problem. We've got alpacas.
Oh, okay.
We've got new alpacas this year. We've got female alpacas, and we've just had cria from them. And since they've arrived on the farm, the fox doesn't come round at any time.
Right, good.
He goes round at maybe night time, but he doesn't come round any time because some of the birds fly out during the day.
Okay.
And I always tell the birds, if you fly out, it's fair game. I can't keep you
Oh,
safe.
by
yeah.
fly, you mean they've jumped to electric fence?
Electric fence.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we have everything in electric fences because we need to protect
And,
them.
and that'll be that's electric net, like
Just
the
electric net,
yellow
yeah,
net,
just
orange
put-
net
But,
type thing.
yeah, our ones are green, but
Green
you
net,
get
yeah,
the colour,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you use that as
Yeah,
well?
we got that. Too.
And that's what we use, just for being mobile.
Yeah.
So we just put everything in that. So even if we have cows in front,
Yeah.
we just put them in the chicken net because
Aye, the cows come and rub up and
exactly, it's if we put up like 3-line wire, we then have to take it down and then put up chicken net.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we just set up like 4 or 5 moves of chicken net, and everything just moves in the chicken nets.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
so
okay.
So
Yeah, so you have one big day
it's
setting
more
all the nets
efficient.
up, and then that does you. But you're not moving them every day, are you? Or
No, we'd move.
not, especially not in the summer.
No, so normally what happens is with the kind of holistic grazing that we do is as the grass speeds up in growth, we speed up in moving.
Okay.
And the reason for that is we try not to overgraze. And overgrazing is the pattern of either returning too early to a spot or staying in a spot for too long. And in peak summer, when the grass is growing, young shoots are regrown in like 3 days. And if you get alpacas in, they'll like to nip and eat that.
Yep.
And chickens basically eat some grasses, but they also tear with their feet. So what they would do is they'll basically stunt the growth of the new grass, and then the new grass is having to shed roots to start growing again because it's just used root energy that it's stored.
Yes,
And it's
okay.
having to use more stored energy that it almost doesn't have, so it has to start shedding roots. So it's very counterintuitive. It took me a long time to get my head
Oh
around
yeah,
this.
absolutely.
But when the grass goes faster, you speed up in your grazing, and in winter when it slows down, we slow right down. So we'd try maybe be up to a week in the same place, but winter's very weather dependent. If it rains heavy,
Yeah, it gets poached.
you could be in a day, it could be poached, and you need to move them. You know,
That's-
because then the eggs get dirty, and you're
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
fascinating about the. I never thought that for summer grass.
but
You'd think I would dump them in a bit that same for ages, but
Yeah.
exactly
make it.
yeah,
hens
yeah.
also be good then for thickening up your sward, obviously, and
Fertilising, thinking up the sward, I mean, they make like a... So whenever the animals in front go, whatever's left standing, they flatten.
yeah, okay.
And
why
it
is that
dies,
good?
so it goes like... They just scratch, they're just basically going, where's the worms, where's the bugs, where's the frogs, whatever we can eat,
Yeah,
we want to eat it. So they're just scratching through, and then they want to make like dust baths as well as part of their social behaviour. And they flatten everything. So when you come out, if it like now when it's dry, you basically have it as a bed of hay almost, you know,
Right.
because the grass has been snapped and is now drying off. And then basically the new grass grows through, and that stuff starts to decay underneath. And
And
you're
it
trying
feeds
to
it.
build. You're trying to build. Everything's feeding the soil again. You're
it's
trying
just
to build
organic
dams.
matter building up all the time,
Exactly,
increasing the depth of your topsoil type thing.
Exactly. So we run alkathene hose just in the surface, because the biggest limitation for people I generally hear when they want to start like rotational grazing is water.
Yeah,
Is we've got one trough in the field and we can't split it up because otherwise we'd have to poach.
Yeah,
So us being small is an advantage in that way because we actually just have a water point, but we just run a big like 150 metres alkaline hose.
No, we're the same at home.
And we just pull it about, you know. So when you move, you just
You
pull
just
it.
put IBC tankers or something.
Yeah,
like-
IBC. So. That's why in the winter it's a tricky one because the pipes lay overground and they
And then
get
they freeze.
frozen.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right. You did
So
say.
My
we've had-
brother started taking the pipes off at night and putting them in the shed, and,
Yes.
then putting them back on in the
So
morning.
just let the water fill up.
No, but it's not ideal because they do go empty,
Yeah, so-
and then
We've been
better than
trying
not
to
empty all
plan
morning.
like,
or have 2 sets of pipes and then you can swap them over.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
that's a
be.
good. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
If it
because-
does freeze, you just take the frozen one off and
because
put the new one
yeah.
on.
Because even if you take
Yep,
the pipe
yep.
off, sometimes
Yeah.
if water's still in it,
The
it'll-
connection,
it'll-
now the connection, you get a
it'll
kettle.
freeze and
I
you're like,
know.
oh, that's it. And then I mean, I've found myself out in the field in winter,
Oh, just
standing staring at a pipe for 30 minutes as the wee shoots of
Just-
ice come out, and I go, any minute
yeah,
this
yeah.
is going to unfreeze and
Yeah,
start
but it
flowing, and
just-
I'm going, what man, do you question what you're doing with your life at times? You're
Aye,
standing
aye,
staring at
aye,
that,
aye.
going, wow, this is dull, you know.
it's hard going.
Everything's nice on the summer. But no, to be fair, a lot of people I've went to doing stuff with landward and whatnot with the rotational grazing, even with cattle, a lot of it's just pipes on the ground. Just move the trough wherever you need it.
As easy as you can get away with, really,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, just
So-
move it as you need it.
I mean, our beauty is because we're small, we don't have many animals. If you've got a lot of cows, you've got to think about the size of your trough because obviously
Yeah.
on hot days their intake can be massive. You
Yeah.
do need the capacity there, so that gets a wee bit more tricky at times. But for us, we
So what have you got? Just a couple of Highland cows, or what have you actually got for
no,
cattle?
we don't have any cattle at the moment.
Right, okay.
So we had this debate, me and Jill, where I wanted the cattle, but then Jill's now pregnant. We're going to have our first kid in December.
Yep.
And we wanted to try and give ourselves some time this year. And if we go away, we have to ask somebody to watch cows and move them every day. And that's a big commitment. And I don't want to ask that of somebody, really. So we decided this year we're going to get alpacas anyway. We'd say we'll get the alpacas. We won't with the cows. But I'd like the impact of the cows. I think they give good, they help push organic matter back
I
in.
think cows are the ultimate. They're not. Maybe
Yeah,
chickens
exactly.
are the ultimate, but the sounds it.
No,
but like,
cows are the ultimate. I mean,
think-
it's the rumen. You know, the
Yeah.
rumen creates this bio vessel, and what comes out the back end is perfect soil food. You know, so and the chickens can come in
and they'll eat rubbish.
scatter about.
Cows will eat a lot of rubbish
aye.
that sheep won't like.
Yeah, they're not as selective as sheep either.
Yeah.
So we found with what we're actually finding this year with the alpacas, which is I find quite interesting, is we had 3 males before, and then now we've got females, and with alpacas you can't. We're finding out now that you can't keep males and females together
Right.
because females are forced ovulators, so they never have a season. So males just get frustrated all the time and just want to mate them constantly.
Right,
So
okay.
we waited till the males were gone before we got the females.
Somebody be like, aye. It's like, look at Lizzie, like, aye.
So we got the females, but what I noticed was our young females were used to being more set stocked than rotationally grazed.
Okay.
So what we found is when we're putting them into the field now in like June, July, when we're starting to get seed heads on grasses, because some of our grasses grow like 3-4 foot tall, and we're getting a lot of like common hogweeds and stuff, and they grow up. Our older alpacas, the first thing they do is go and eat the heads off of everything, eat all the seeds, the common hogweed heads they loved. And our new alpacas don't do that; they're very fussy. And I think it's going to take maybe a year or so, but I'm noticed they're now starting to eat more of the varieties of whatever's there.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because they were more used to
Used to it.
the set stock system, which had
They can wander about and find the bit they want.
it was basically more just grasses because you don't give a chance for those other things to come up.
No, okay,
you know.
yeah.
Yes.
So after our sheep still eats, we've got one sheep left.
Okay.
Because he was a pet sheep and we couldn't say goodbye.
Sentimental.
So he lives with the alpacas, you know.
They make a good team, to be fair. they work fine together.
Aye, they're fine. I mean, it's taken a bit of integrating because it's him and then 4 female alpacas who were a bit
Okay,
like.
he's a bit
Yeah,
outnumbered,
yeah.
didn't he?
You know, so
But alpacas, alpacas, they're obviously good for the flock. Llama's the big one, isn't it? It's the
Llama's
real
a big
aggressive
one.
one
Yeah,
for
okay.
foxes,
they're
isn't
like
it?
3 times the size. In
Aye. That's
But donkeys quite good too, maybe.
donkeys apparently are
Yeah,
good as well.
alpacas will, if they corner a fox, will kill it.
Would they?
Right.
Aye.
They'd stamp it because they've got split
Are they-
hoofs, but they've got their claws can be their hoofs can be quite pointed and
Right.
sharp. So
Okay.
yeah, we've
Right, we're going to just have an advert play in here at the moment, Colin, and then we'll come
No
back and
worries.
hear more about how this business runs.
Crystalyx Extra High Energy Feed Blocks have been providing high energy supplementation to ewes, lambs and rams in the UK since 1978. Packed full of protein, vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Extra High Energy has been proven to increase live lamb numbers and improve lamb daily live weight gain at a cost of only 4 to 7 pence per ewe per day. To view the full Crystalyx range and find your nearest stockist, visit crystalyx-global.com.
And we're back. So with this business, right? You're obviously producing 700 eggs a week or thereabouts.
Yep.
Where do they go?
A day. No, a day.
A day, sorry, a day.
Yeah,
A day.
A day, a day.
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
I
so
can't
we're
even
about-
get my head around it. I'm just like, what do you do all that?
So we're down to about 650-ish, something like that. Thankfully, our fox has not got many since the alpacas came on.
Good.
But yeah, but 650 a day. So our main thing we started with was mainly wholesale with the eggs. So we supply businesses in Glasgow. We supply various kind of organic shops and restaurants, places like that. And then we also have like a self-organised group in Edinburgh that are they call it like a RICO ring, which is like a Swedish model. Where they
A RICO
basically-
ring sounds like some sort of anti-drug enforcement agency.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact,
Okay.
RICO is like something to do
Oh,
with
is
that,
it?
not?
Is it?
Oh, maybe I'm making it up. I'm sure.
Is that
RICO,
like RECO?
It could be.
'Cause this is
I
REKO
think it
or
sounds like
something,
some
yeah.
American thing. RICO, I'm sure it is.
I don't actually know what it means in like Sweden, like what that word translates to, or if it's
Okay.
if it's an acronym for some Swedish words.
Yeah.
But it was a self-organised group in Edinburgh, so we sell to them at retail, and then we have like a local delivery one we do on a Friday locally, and we have people come to the farm as well to buy. So we're starting to do more retail side because we're obviously sacrificing money when we give wholesale.
Yep.
So, but the majority is still, I think it's about 70-30 split at the moment.
70.
70 wholesale, 30 retail.
Yeah.
So we want to try and over time bring that more to retail, because you're literally getting just getting more money in for no extra effort. You know.
And you're obviously doing this fantastically, not niche, bespoke, unique product is what I'm looking for. Unique.
Yeah.
What does a dozen eggs sell for from Ramstein?
We're 270 a half dozen, and that just so it's 540 for a dozen. It doesn't change.
Yeah, so you mostly sell them in half dozen.
Well, whatever people want, but
Yeah.
we just base the price. It doesn't matter what you buy really. We just base it at 270.
Okay.
Because I can't be bothered with the accountancy of all the different numbers. If you
Yeah,
scale up and give
Yeah, discounts.
yeah
and-
discounts, right? Yeah. So if you look at that in comparison to, like, say, supermarkets, for example, we can be competitive on eggs. White eggs in supermarkets generally are selling between like £3 and £3.50, usually like £3.20 to £3.50
For a half dozen?
for a half dozen,
they?
and that's
Organic, we're talking here.
Yeah, okay.
where the ones well, if you go to Marks and Spencer's, I don't know if I can name names or not.
Tesco.
Oh, it's not the BBC. Name
No,
all
I
the
don't
names you
know,
want.
yeah.
Aye.
No, but if you go to Marks and Spencer's, I think they're £3.50 for a half dozen white eggs, but it's like
Organic or not?
No, I don't think they're organic.
Right.
It's like Clarence. I think it's like Clarence Court.
Yeah,
something
Marks
like
and
that.
Spencer's
you know?
also will be good.
Yeah.
But that's the one where it's. I think it's because it's a white egg and it's a kind of. I suppose it's still a kind of unique
same
thing, I
as unique.
guess.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make any difference whether it's a white or a brown egg.
Yeah.
You know, how you look after the birds and rear the birds and everything is what determines the quality of what's inside it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's kind of a gimmick.
Uh-huh.
Charging extra for white eggs, I don't see that as I think that's a bit gimmicky. So we're charging $2.70, so we're perfectly competitive on white eggs.
Did you ever charge extra for the blue eggs?
No, we used to
Just
do.
gonna catch you out there, just like talking about gimmicks.
No. We used to do 3 brown, 2 white, and 1 blue in every box.
Ah,
So we had
okay.
them in rows,
Then
so-
that's bloody hard work too.
But
like,
we had to
jeez.
order the chickens, and it used to be like,
Yeah.
right, if this one gets taken by a fox, 2 of yous have to be taken by a fox to keep the numbers.
Ah, it's just a
right, okay,
nightmare. Yeah, I can see why you've went the other way.
Right,
know,
too tricky,
so-
yeah.
So, like, do you know how much 6 eggs are in the supermarket, Lizzie?
Like standard 12 box is £3.20, I think.
For 12?
Normal eggs, yeah.
Yeah, normal.
Normal,
but,
right, just-
free
Free
range.
range.
There's
Always buy
such a
free
that's the
range.
thing. There's such a variety.
Yeah.
It's
I can't buy barn,
It's
just
really
can't do
hard
it.
to say where.
Well,
Like,
barn eggs are going to be banned in the next year or two, are they? Or-
Barn's different to cage, I think.
Oh, is
cage,
it?
It's like
I think will be
cages.
banned because
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, barn, they've got quite a lot of
Aye,
space.
but
in
they'll-
there.
barn is where
yeah.
barn's like basically the same as free range, but they don't have pop holes, so they can't
Yeah.
go outside.
Yeah.
And most free range birds don't go outside anyway.
I think
especially
so,
in the winter.
Yeah, it's very low numbers. I think it's like there was a study done, and I totally forget numbers, so I'm not going to say numbers, but it was looking at a 7-year study looking at the number of free range layers that are outside at any one time in a given day, and it was something like 7 or 12%,
Yeah,
something
okay.
like that. It was very
Yeah,
low.
real small.
Most of them stay with the food and the water and the heaters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The further they have to go, the more risky it is for them because they're further away from that and they're
Yeah.
out in the open where predation is and stuff. Our guys, our wares are right next to their feed anyway.
Yeah.
And chickens once they get very used to the environment, that's what they like. They don't like to change.
Well, a big
creatures of
difference is
comfort.
yours are getting fresh grass and something interesting.
Exactly.
Most
exactly.
free range, it's the same
Same dirty
barren
patch,
bit of ground
yeah.
all the time.
Yes, yeah, the first, like, you say the first 50 feet is
Yeah.
usually like shale or something like that, right?
Yeah,
They put
yeah.
stone because it's so much
Well, keep it
manure
clean
everything.
and
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for us,
I mean, I'm not knocking the freak because, like, to produce enough eggs to feed us all, you have to do those systems.
This is it. You couldn't just turn around tomorrow and say, let's all do pastured poultry.
Yes,
It wouldn't
No.
work.
couldn't feed the world on that. That's the thing, but you can put a dent in it.
Exactly. For me, pastured poultry is great for the likes of small holders like
Yep.
ourselves and people that are doing like mixed farming or already have beef enterprises.
Yeah.
And I see you can run them behind the cattle, and it's like you're not going to need any extra land to do that. They're just going to come in quickly behind where the cows have just been,
Yep.
do a bit of cleaning up, and just move with the cows. So you don't need the extra land, but you've got another enterprise that's bringing you in a bit of money, and I think that's where it'll work really well. It's a more integrated system.
Do you think you could do that, Lizzie?
Yeah, I always like these ideas. It's just time. I just quite short on time sometimes.
You're quite good at grabbing it. You've got the experience of dealing with birds, and
Right, yeah, I don't mind dealing with birds. That's not. I wouldn't worry about that.
it's just the
bit.
time.
And that's the other thing. Birds are they're so different to any other farm animal, in terms of like their anatomy and everything else. Our vet for a bird's only do poultry.
Yeah.
Poultry vets only do poultry. They don't do anything else. And your normal vet will know very little about poultry because it's not common.
Aye, it's
It's not
quite
taught.
niche.
It's a specialised subject.
Yeah.
So when something goes wrong with birds, it can be very difficult. It's very difficult to
okay.
identify what.
And very
Yeah.
difficult to recover from by the
And
sounds
real,
of it.
Exactly.
real quick as well. Like small chicks, if they go down, you start losing them. It can lose a lot real quick.
Yeah.
They're prey,
Sensitive,
they're
aren't
prey
they?
species, white sheep,
Sensitive,
they're prey species, so they don't show vulnerability until the last minute. And then by the time you see them ill, it's usually they're all really ill,
But if you're sitting there at
I
did you
think-
say 1600, 650, what did you say, 350, £3.50 a go? That's-
270 a half dozen or 540 a dozen.
Aye, so what's the maths
What you're
on?
trying to work
Yeah, what's the
out.
maths on that? Like,
Sixes. Do you know your 6 times table?
I should know
was it
this
£3,000 a
myself,
week,
but-
or is it? Oh no, it's
Eh,
600. I keep thinking it's 600. I was going to say 300 quid, but it's 600 a day, so it's 300 quid a
So
day.
600 eggs, it's just
Easy
100
counting.
times 240, so it's 240 quid a day.
Aye,
you know,
by 7, so
by
yeah,
7,
yeah,
aye, so
yeah.
1,400 quid.
1,500 quid a week.
Aye.
Aye,
So,
6
so you're
grand a month.
talking, aye, so around about that, aye.
Yeah.
So that's
Right,
that's
Lizzie.
before
Right,
cost.
Lizzie.
Before
that's
cost.
retail. That's
Right,
Yeah,
Lizzie.
retail.
before
so-
cost.
Yeah. Aye, if they
You
got
know,
all the hassle
but I
dealing
would
with
say
the customer.
if anyone's doing it, if they can start retail and just stick with retail, that'd be the best way because you have to just sacrifice margin for.
Well, I've been
somebody
I've been leaking this into a few podcasts recently. Is that we've a bit of chat back and forth about whether we should do our own, because we have this following with the sheep game and stuff like that, and it's like, shouldn't we be, doing our own thing, like
Yeah.
selling produce, selling lamb, beef once we've got enough
Absolutely.
eggs, maybe
Yeah.
something similar to yourself, or we just tie in with somebody like yourself. And I just think that's why it's good to have somebody like yourself in to talk through the economics of it. And
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones when we started out with the poultry. We started the poultry business in 2019. That was when we decided we would actually get a flock of. We started off with 300.
yeah,
And at the start, it's hard because it's just such a learning curve, such a steep learning curve. And with chickens, there's just so many mistakes you can make.
Yeah.
And any slight mistake costs you so much because birds are so sensitive, they can go off the way so easily. And if they're not weighing, whether you like it or not, birds have to weigh at a really high rate, for you to make money as a commercial business. They just do. And, at the start, we had birds and they were always in 70, 80%, and that's almost not enough.
Right.
Which sounds mad.
Yeah,
Sounds mad.
yeah.
You sit there and you think that's crazy. And that was that's a combination of factors of us learning, trying to get the right breeds, maybe getting ones that haven't quite been reared as kind of well as they should have been, and they're not quite
Matured
like everything. If they get a strong starting life, they'll
they'll
weigh
better,
well,
yeah.
like any animal. So there's a lot to learn, and we've made a lot of mistakes. So it's only really been the last kind of 2 years where we've really actually started getting it quite dialed in and getting birds. Now that we rear our own now, so we rear our own layers from day olds. We bring them in. We've got some small rearing sheds.
Yep.
that you've like insulated out, put heating in.
Insulated shed. They've got gas lamps. Yeah, gas heaters.
Is that? I know I keep going back to Lizzie's thing, but is that the same as you've got?
We used to do.
Because Lizzie gets them in at 2 days old.
the
a
broilers,
day
it would have
old, day
been,
old.
yeah.
We used to do gas, and now I've got a biomass boiler that does
that's
air
it.
heat.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, that's really
That's the
good.
cheaper way to do it. Absolutely.
Well, I don't, yeah, maybe it was a lot
Well, we
of wood.
used
A lot
to
of wood
do-
in the winter.
When we've been doing the broilers the last years just for ourselves. We'd always use heat lamps.
Yeah.
But when you
Oh, we
switch
did
to
that
gas,
too.
it is way cheaper.
Yeah,
Gas and heat lamps.
They're electric, of course.
Yeah, because the heat lamps are sitting there at 250 watt bulb, and you've got 4 or 5 bulbs. That's a kilowatt an hour every day, 24 hours a day going. Our gas ones now, we bought ones that have got digital thermostats, so that when they're not needed, they turn off. And there's a digital
Nice.
thermometer that it only accepts a 0.3 of a mil variation in temperature, and then it kicks back in.
Brilliant.
So if you're rearing in summer, you're using like half the gas that you are in winter, but even then it's still much better.
Than using
It's
electric.
such a bigger space as well because they like to huddle, and the little small lamps are just like
That's
all
right.
huddled under a small
That was
lamp.
the first thing I noticed.
That gas, it spreads the heat. The hood. spreads
Oh,
the
your
heat a
gas is
bit.
heating the whole shed rather than just under the light.
Well, kind of, yeah. It'd be hotter
Yeah.
under the gas, but
That's the
Yeah.
first thing we noticed when we switched to gas, when we got these rearing sheds, was that before what you would get is you'd get some birds under the lamp and then some birds away
in the corners.
in the corners, but when it got cold, everyone was under the lamps, whereas in this, because it's a well-insulated space and you have windows and stuff that you can ventilate with, the gas is really even, so the birds generally just root about, they're not...
Eating and drinking.
And it's really good then, because if they are all under or they are all at the edges, it's an easy indicator to know it's too hot, it's too
Oh,
cold.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Gives you
which takes a bit of time. I found it a lot easier reading birds with gas lamps than I have with
Oh, it
infrared
sounds-
heat lamps.
It sounds like a no-brainer. And I'm just thinking again. I should say to folk as well. You're thinking we're talking about that $6,000 retail for these, but then you're $2,000 straight away for your feed.
Aye.
If you're somehow
Aye,
part
aye,
3
aye.
ton a
Aye,
month,
aye.
700. So
It's
a third of it's
it's $21.99 or something. Like
yeah. So like over a third of it's gone straight
Yeah.
away.
that. Yeah, feed
The
is
feed
your
before you put
single
any
biggest
time into it.
cost
Yeah.
Yeah.
by a mile. You know, your feed, your labour, and then like your packaging. You know,
Yeah,
what you need
packaging,
packaging.
yeah.
We use plastic trays, so we have reusable trays.
Okay.
So we just say when we give you
Of
the
a
tray,
wholesale, aye,
we
it's
need it
good.
back, and if we don't get the trays back, we basically charge for the trays because it costs us to replace them.
Yeah.
And we do that because when you look at using cardboard once and throwing it away, it's such a waste. I mean, that's an energy.
Yeah.
Takes energy to make
Even
that
if it
bulk
is
packaging.
recycled, it's still a waste. Yeah.
So
and they're kind of flimsy and
exactly.
plastic's nicer, more
Yes,
secure. They
yeah,
stack better and
100%.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so lazy that I lift like 7 or 8 or 10 trays at a time, and I really shouldn't.
Right,
But I
okay.
do, and when you're on plastic, it's a bit easier.
Yes,
Time.
the
Tell the
cardboard
plastic
would
clicks at
rip
the
it.
bottom and-
The cardboard
Yeah.
would rip it to sides and the
Rip
whole
it
lot
sides,
come
oh, the whole
down.
thing would go.
Yeah, yeah.
God, aye.
And with your broilers, you're selling them as well, selling meat birds now as well.
Yeah, we've just started that this year.
Right, okay.
What is that? Is obviously Lizzie's game.
What's that?
What would you sell? Do you know what you get for a meat bird now?
Oh, no, I don't
Devon?
know. No, I don't. Oh, I've no, because they go to like someone kills
Is it
them.
contracted?
It's contract. Well, I is a contract, and then they go up to like butchers in London and Bristol, like private organic places.
Nice.
Organic
So
from
you do your
Devon,
organic?
Ross.
Yeah, or
Organic ones, yeah,
free range
okay.
organic.
Do you know what your feed is?
No, I'd be up about that, I imagine.
Our
Aye.
broiler feed
Will be.
is about $6.20. It's not as expensive
Yeah, okay.
because you don't need a lot of the, whereas you're doing with
And do you
hormones.
put soya in it?
This one does, and now we're working on getting away from soya
Okay.
with this because it's doable. There's other people do it, so we'd like to get away. So next year we've stopped for this season now with the broilers. We just stopped. a bit ago.
So you're doing it seasonal there. You're like
Yeah, because we run them outside. The
Yeah.
Scottish winter's so harsh, the birds just can't take it.
right. So
You
you
know,
do them outside.
We
the whole-
we could do it. We still could do it all year round if we had coops that were insulated, probably like yourselves,
Yeah.
where they can stay inside and keep warm and they can regulate themselves.
Yeah.
But we don't have that yet. So
to be fair, Devon winters are very different than.
Wet,
here
but
as well.
milder. Yeah.
Well,
Just so mild. It's the temperature.
it's the wind here. See the driving wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
See when the birds getting driving wind.
And you're in such a sheltered spot where you are as well. You're not like you're in like a wee gully. You're not like.
It's not. It's pretty exposed.
Is it?
Because well, if I don't know if you remember, but our big field drops off the back,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where the wind comes from the west side.
It comes
So
right
just,
over.
it just,
fae.
it just blows right up the field. So
Yeah.
Okay.
we've put in a lot of willows and stuff. We've planted like 2,500 willows on the
Yeah,
on
I've
the,
seen them along the
around the
side.
edge, and they're getting big now. And
My brother has lost sheds before in the wind, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll still be quite
But
exposed
they
to wind
we
down there in
ratchet
Devon.
strap
It's just
them
that
down now.
temperature as well.
Aye.
eh? Yours-
If we had insulated sheds that we could keep closed off and give the birds so they can go out, but they
Yeah.
can stay in if they want, that would probably be fine and work. But
And do you have a shop people can come to any time?
We don't actually have a shop, I say, but if people want to come to the farm and buy from us, they're welcome to come down.
So folk can just drive in and...
Yeah, we just say people just contact us, because if they come down and
They
there's
might not be
nobody
there.
to help
They might be here
it's a
doing a
bit- It's a bit
podcast.
of a wasted journey,
Yeah.
exactly.
So and for anyone listening in the local area, like Ramstein is just by Cunningham Head. It's like if you're heading for Stewarton,
on the
you
left
literally
side.
past Cunningham Head. It's the next on the left.
The left, aye,
After
aye.
Cunningham Head, and you drive down it. You'd be past. You'd miss it before you
Oh, everyone
see
misses
it.
it.
It's yeah.
But we always say people just get like my numbers on the website and stuff, and email. So people just phone me or text me and say, "Oh, I'd like to get some." I say, "Fine," and we can arrange.
There we go. It's straight into that. But no meat birds now.
No meat birds now. We just finished. We only did 600 this year. It's kind of our first
Only,
year.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I know. Well, I know
How
you
do
say only birds.
Lizzie and I had talked about doing this. Well, that and turkeys and stuff.
Yep.
But it was processing them was what we weren't sure
Yeah.
about.
So what we've done is processing's a massive cost. You need to process
And
the
time,
equipment.
yeah.
So what we've done is we've said, right, we're going to invest in it. So this year we invested in proper professional equipment,
Okay.
and now what we do is we offer it to hire to anyone that wants to hire it, because
Problem solved.
we use it. You know, when you take a batch of birds, we can do 150 birds a day. That's kind of
Okay.
our limit with 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
That's what we manage so far. So, you know, for 600, we've only done 4 processing days. So we bought them equipment that works 4 days.
How much does the equipment cost you?
Just the money. Oh, equipment. The scalder, plucker, itself is about 12,000 quid.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a big cost.
That'd be a
you
good
know.
option.
No,
do you think?
I'd like to do
So,
it.
so
Yeah.
what we're saying to people is, like, we actually had people come to us and said, "Oh, we love to do it, but it's a barrier to entry, effectively." And we've said, "Well, we're happy to rent it out." So what we're going to do is,
But are you like you must go with it though? Do you not?
Sorry?
It sounds like the kind of gear you wouldn't want to rent out to dafties.
well, you're going to have to put in your hire agreements, and if you break it, you pay for it,
Yeah.
sort of stuff and all that, you know. And you need to clean it down because there's a biosecurity.
But surely you
risk
have to go with
as
it
well.
to show them.
Yes,
You need to factor
there
that into it.
basically probably need to be some training.
You only
Because
you make
Scotland's
it
a bit
a one-off fee. The first time you show them,
Exactly.
they pay for you for
Yeah.
the half day or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because scalding's a bit of a dark art. Scalding birds. and getting it
Scalding
right.
is what part, Lizzie?
Oh, the water, I don't know.
It's obviously
so-
burning the hairs off it or something.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's you put
You
the
use
bird.
wax.
I wax the turkeys,
Oh, do the wax? Oh, okay.
but that was back along here.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've been in to see when our chickens got killed, and there's some line they go along there.
Yeah. But so where's your scalding do it? Is
So
it
scalding is you basically you would stun the bird and then let it bleed out. So you'd stun it and then cut its arteries.
and you do all that yourself?
We do that ourselves. This is the reason why we like poultry. Is from day one to the day the person buys it to eat. It's never left the farm.
Yeah.
How many animals can you do that with? And abattoirs now are such an issue for people. There's so few of them,
Yeah.
Aye.
and everyone gets so many more problems because everyone's trying to get into the same abattoir and all
There's
this.
hardly any up here. I don't think there's any chicken abattoirs, is there?
I don't.
I've
I
asked a
don't
few
even know.
people, and like,
There used to be the
There's
farm
one at
across the road
there's
from
one at
us.
Cunningham Head now.
I know
exactly.
exactly. I know.
Well, I don't know if I want to spend my days just killing
No,
chickens.
no,
Is
fair
that-
enough. It's not
quite
easy, no.
depressing.
Yeah, it
It's
could
not.
be,
It's
yeah.
not the nicest day in the farm,
No,
but
no, no.
you have to. You know, you can't be hypocritical if you're going to eat it. You have to do it. So.
Yeah, and bloody hard work as well. Dealing with that many chickens all at once. But sorry, you were saying you stun them.
So you stun them, and then you'd basically cut their necks.
Yeah. You put them in a cone?
Bleed out. Yes, in a cone.
I've
So
seen folk using like an old traffic cone. And
you can use a traffic cone.
Yeah.
Just cut
Yeah.
the bottom at an angle. And
Yeah.
so you do that, and then once they've bled out, you basically have a big bath that's hot water. And you basically set the water to a certain temperature, and the temperature can vary, and if the temperature varies, depending on how you're doing it. So we have water, we have a certain temperature, and then we basically, for a given temperature, you have a given time, effectively. But that's loosely used because some birds are more feathers than others.
yeah.
Some birds are harder to release than others. And then basically you you dunk them in that water, and we put them in for about something like 45 seconds. And then you lift them out, and you basically pull at the tip of the wing feathers.
Right.
And when you can pull them out, that means they're releasing. Then you take them out, hocks off, so the bottom of the feet off, heads off, and then into the plucker, which is like the most violent looking thing ever. But
I've seen it. It's like
really
a
effective.
wash machine type
It's
thing.
like it's
With
like
paddles
a
on it,
wash
isn't
machine
it?
lying on its back,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
aye.
It's got the big rubber fingers, you know, and the base is a big disc with rubber fingers and it spins.
Just
Aye.
ripping it off.
And
I have seen them on TikTok.
Aye, it looks a bit
Yeah.
rough, doesn't it?
and then we do that. So it's birds into that, they get plucked, and then we bring it over to what we call our clean side, which is the evisceration side, and that's where I am. It's doing the eviscerating bit because that's the bit that's the
Was
most.
eviscerating, burning off the wee bits
Then
that
they're putting
left.
out the guts.
No,
bring
bring
it
it
out.
the guts, you know, separating the livers and the gizzards and the heart and all the bits you want to keep, cutting the neck off, taking
What
off
do you
the
do with
wax.
the heart and all that?
We sell them. We just vacuum bag them and sell them.
What, chicken hearts?
Awful.
Not many people want them, to be fair,
You
but
buy it for the dogs and that, no, maybe?
yeah, dogs.
Yeah, dogs.
good
Like
for
those
dogs,
big
and we sell,
dogs.
we
like
sell the
proper
feet as
food,
dog
don't they?
treats.
Yeah.
Right?
We sell
You
the feet
sell
as
them
dog-
too, do you?
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything with them? Do you just cut them off and bag them?
That's why we sell them as dog feet, because if we wanted to sell them as proper ones,
clean them
you have to
properly.
usually scald them and take the skin off. And that's
Oh.
just a total effort. That
Yeah.
I can't really
Right,
bother
so,
with.
but you can just bag them and sell them as dog treats.
Yeah, that's what we do. Our dog loves it, man.
I'm sure they
Bad
do.
for them,
Yeah,
aye.
you just
It's good,
chew
it's
it.
good for them, you know, bones,
Oh.
isn't it?
Our dog will eat rotten sheep that have been sitting for goodness sake. So the taste is obviously not their first priority.
No, absolutely
They
not.
just want something good to chew.
Aye.
But right, so okay, so you
So
do,
do that,
you
and
do, you
then
do all
some-
the gutting
Do all the gutting. Yeah, so the gutting's the most time consuming bit, and that's the hardest
and the
bit. is
worst
we
bit.
need
I
to-
take it you just literally hand and rip it out, do you? Or
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of pulling and tearing with birds. It's less cutting.
Aye.
It's actually easier and better to do it that way, cleaner. So yeah, hand in, guts out, and then it's liver off, heart off, gizzard off.
So you're sorry to get
Gizzard
too.
out.
I'm just interested because I want to learn as well. You're in, rip it out on the table. You pick out the bits you want,
Pick out the bits you want. Yep. And the only thing you have to watch when you're doing that
and
is
are all the hearts going in a bucket?
yeah. So
Together?
we have like
I'm interested.
I know,
to
it's
learn.
funny. Just
Folk
imagine
might
like
think it's a bit
lots
grim,
of
but
chicken hearts in the
I just eat
market.
chicken hearts in a tub.
we have stainless steel tubs,
collect
and
them.
we line them with
Right.
bags, and then we basically put each thing and everything, and then once they get so full, we keep rebagging. So
Yeah.
and then it's the only thing you've got to watch when you're like taking the liver off. It's attached to the bile duct.
Yeah.
And if you burst that, that's green bile, and if it
wrong.
touches anything, that's it. Chicken's in the bin. You can't use it.
Is that right?
Aye.
They're quite well.
Stains,
A sheep
stains
one
everywhere.
is quite solid. To be fair, the bile duct.
Yeah, no, these ones are like liquid. So
Aye, they're really sensitive.
yeah,
sort
so
of,
you basically get a technique of like basically pinching the end of that and then pulling the liver off, so that you don't tear it, and then you're okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, if you burst it and it goes up, it's just like,
that's contaminated.
That's
the
contaminated. You can't
birds.
use it. Whole birds in the bin.
Is it right?
So,
And what were you selling these birds for?
so we sell chicken.
Well, tell us the weights. Sorry, what kind of weights did you get? Did you get an average weight? Or?
Well, the first birds this year, we just bought the new processing equipment, and I was late in ordering it, so it arrived
Got
late.
big, did they?
So the birds were about 2.5 kilos when dead weight, like finished weight, when
Is
we
that
processed
heavy?
them.
Yeah, I would
So
say
that's
it's
pretty. I
quite
mean, a supermarket
light,
bird's
aye.
1.6 to
Yeah,
1.8.
supermarket.
Yeah,
small.
jeez.
So
Like turkey.
I think ours
yeah,
go live at about
big
3.
birds. I mean, our biggest one was 3.4 kilos. You're getting to like a goose size at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Aye,
Huge.
hard to sell.
And plus, the longer you rear the birds, the tougher they start to get.
Yeah,
the
chuff.
leg. These birds run about a lot more than your standard commercial broilers, so the legs start to develop a lot more tendon.
Yeah.
You get to a point where you can't eat the leg. It's like
Aye, is that-
chewing on rubber,
yeah,
Okay.
you know.
yeah.
So there's a balance point. So we obviously don't want them to go too long anyway. So we were really restricting their feed.
What sort of weeks were you going to for those?
They were like 13, 14 weeks,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
So we generally go 10 to 12
Yeah,
weeks.
that's the best. I think.
is that what you do?
I was 10 to 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what weights are you?
I think organic
Live,
77
they go
days.
like
I think
2.8
organic
to
is something like
Is
that.
the limit like or?
I think minimum.
Oh, minimum,
I think
minimum.
Oh, it
organic
has, it has to be 10 plus.
has to
I
be
Yeah,
think.
because they want them
10
slower
weeks minimum.
grown, don't they? They want.
Well, they have to have eaten so much organic food, I think. Or just standards, organic standards have to be.
Yeah, it's for
Yeah,
it's
but
for,
slow
it's for like
growth.
Yeah,
welfare and
slow
stuff like that.
growth,
They don't
yeah.
want because
They want their legs to keep up with the body weight. Or else they go off
the
their
industry
legs.
is, the way it goes is we need to, like most things, we need to put on as much weight as fast as we can, and that's the way it works.
They go off their legs.
So they go off their legs really easy.
Yeah.
And we tried several different. We're still trying breeds. The breed we have now is not, I think, the one we're going to stick with. We're trying to find one that's even more slower growing. Because when you ask a bird to put on more weight and you line breed for weight, generally what you take away is immunity. That's what we find, is immunity suffers. So we find that our birds this year we're still getting ones that are getting like joint infections. They get what's called enterococcus.
Okay.
The bacteria that grows in their joint, and what happens, their leg grows, their leg grows sideways, and then they can't walk, and you have to call them because they can't get to
Yeah,
food and
yeah.
stuff, and it's horrible. And you sit there and you go, well, what am I doing wrong? And then we speak to the vets and they say, you're not actually doing anything wrong. The problem
it's
is
the
that
genetics.
that bird,
Okay.
yeah, it's genetics, and that bird probably came with that even from the hatchery, and it's just their immune system isn't designed to be going outside on grass, exposed to so much more than the standard way you would be in a controlled space.
What breed are you using?
We're Hubbards.
That's what we are as well.
Hubbard 57s. I think it
Hubbards?
was. Yeah.
Hubbard's what?
Hubbards 57s, I
Is
think.
it 57? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the. I forget. I think it's the 757s, the J's. Hubbards have like 10 different lines.
Yeah, back to this.
We'd like to
number
try
of-
the Label Rouge, which is like the very top one, which I think is like an S. It's an S57 or something like that. Don't quote me.
That's how
I'm
yours
not sure.
is.
No, but it's not red. It's
S57.
not. You're taking red, is it?
The
No.
label, the label
Ours were
red.
white
yeah.
chickens.
No, the label,
Oh,
the
right,
label
okay.
red is the
Oh,
name. I
right.
don't know if it's a white
Okay,
chicken.
fair enough. I don't
quote
know.
me.
Aye.
But is it like?
But it's
why
the
are you saying it's
slowest,
like the
it's the
top one?
slowest growing breed.
So it's the most expensive, is it, or what's the?
It's the most premium bird that they do for premium market because the slower it grows, the more flavour it develops. So that's generally what higher end wants.
Yeah.
But for us, it's about finding the bird that will work best with our system.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah,
we tried Rossi's,
Oh,
which
no,
are the
shocking.
most commercialised bird in the
Are
world.
they bad?
Yeah.
Have you tried them?
No, we just, you can't.
You just know.
You probably, I mean, we
You can
tried
see-
it and we lost so many. They get so ill.
Just go off the legs, like.
They go off their legs.
You can see it in
you
the
have
shop.
to restrict their feed so much. They will eat themselves to death. Like they
Right.
literally will just eat themselves to death. They will just have heart attacks. You have
And
to
this
restrict.
is what most.
You can
birds
see
are
it. You
in
can
the
see it in the
shop.
shop. You can see the hock burns on the whole bird. On whole bird and shop, you'll see
Yeah,
a hock burns, and that's because they've gone off the
black,
legs.
the wee
They're
black
on the
marks
floor.
on the
And
yellow
yeah,
It's
skin.
like
at the
bruising,
bottom.
is
No,
it?
the ammonia
No, it's the
of the
ammonia
dung
from the feces on the
burns
floor.
It's literally burned them. And
Because
you'll
they're
see
sat,
that in
they're sitting on
chickens.
their own feces all day.
Oh,
Yeah,
sat,
right, and you'll see that in the chickens in
I've
the
seen
shop.
it sometimes, yeah. And a whole bird, you've got to see the whole bird with the hocks on there.
Yeah. Wow,
There
and
was a
that's-
big because there was a campaign a while back with
it comes through all the time,
Widdle
doesn't it?
didn't sign up to higher welfare standards for their chicken, whereas Aldi's and that did,
right.
and they were getting the hawk burn. And I think the thing they're really concerned with as well with hawk burn and things like that is the birds are getting that, but they're also getting the bacteria in that joint,
gone in,
and it's antibiotic resistant, and they're worried that it eventually
humans.
passes into humans, and
Yes.
we don't have a fix for it. That's the worry. So
Interesting.
you know,
Do you try to buy free range in the shop?
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but because it's
I
quite.
find it hard. Like what I find hard is if you're buying organic, you can get organic whole chickens, but if you want cuts,
You can
a
never-
lot of times
aye.
certain cuts you can get organic breasts, but sometimes if you want organic legs or wings, or even like organic livers, really difficult. I find maybe like Waitrose sell them occasionally, but
Right,
everywhere
okay.
else I've not seen.
Yeah, it's
And I don't know if that's a processing
but
thing.
I really think we're moving, and you'll see it because you've got the popularity of what you're doing, but we are moving towards, well, some people have a bit more money these days, disposable
Aye.
income, and also they're more conscious about health. I think that's why we've seen like this fad of this veganism and this nonsense is dying away, and red meat's booming again because
high
people realise
protein,
actually
gym
whole
people.
foods,
Yeah.
like whole foods,
This is it.
getting away from processed foods.
processed stuff.
And then,
exactly.
so good people doing that, but then the people who have that wee bit extra money to spend
Yes.
are then going the step further, going, right, Whole Foods, let's go organic. Let's know where it comes from
Yeah, exactly.
is the next big thing.
So for us, like most of our customers are the kind of conscious type. That's kind of why they came to us in the first place.
Yeah.
And we've
Conscious is the
we've had
word.
several vegans contact us and actually said, can we come down and see, because we want to introduce some animal protein back into our diet,
Okay.
Yeah.
because obviously
Yeah.
one of the things I always talk about is the B12 deficiencies and stuff
Yes.
like that. And they've said, but we only want to buy eggs from birds that we can trust are being
Yeah.
well looked after. So I said to them, just come down to the farm, see it. If you like it, buy them. If you don't, it's
No harm
okay.
done.
Yeah. And they've all been happy. So
that's good.
we like that. So I wouldn't go as far
Were
as
they
to
happy?
say they were, and they buy from us now. And we have
Okay.
people that buy regularly, but I don't think I can quite call them vegan friendly yet. I think that's pushing it.
Okay, yeah.
Friendly chickens.
Vegan
aye.
friendly
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah, okay.
And what was your meat bird selling for then? Is it price per kilo? Or?
Yeah, price per kilo. So we're £12 a kilo for a whole bird, which is on the higher end, but it
what
unfortunately
is-
has to be.
I don't know.
I keep
I know, but it was a few years ago since I wouldn't know what they sell for now.
But like in the shop, like
It'd be 20 quid.
no, but it's
Oh,
you'd be 20
no,
quid a kilo.
No,
No, bird.
bird.
But like if you're
Oh, I don't know.
If you're
like
buying a whole
six,
chicken, like a
six-
free-range
six
chicken?
quid, 6-7 quid
is it
for a whole one.
versus 20 quid?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So I think, I mean, if I did my research on this when we were looking at pricing, because you really what you should be doing is looking at your costs and putting on your margin and saying that's what
Yeah.
the price has to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we looked at it and went, well, if we did that, we'd probably have such an unreasonably high priced bird
Okay.
because the costs, and because poultry is it's a scale game. It's an economies of scale game.
Yeah.
There is no getting around it. You know, you look at meat prices and you look at poultry prices. Meat prices go up. Poultry prices just always come down.
Yeah.
So you're swimming against the tide in a way that you're asking people to really try and pay so much more, and you're it's having to justify it. So £12 a kilo we feel is kind of like what's
You're making
the
a
most
profit
we
at
can
that.
charge. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we are. So we're looking at this year for the 600 birds. We're probably going to make about 10,000 on that.
Yeah.
But that's including paying me for doing the work as well. So that's profit on top of my labour. But what we're looking at as well is how do we increase value? So how do we make more value out of what we have? So we're looking at things like when we cut the chickens up, we sell the carcasses as stock bags for £5. So we're saying to ourselves, maybe next year what we're going to look at doing is taking those carcasses and boiling them and making them like a bone broth.
Right, yeah.
Because
That's
a lot of our people
sellable.
are very health conscious. They want the bone broth.
They don't want to do the work to it.
Yeah, exactly. And what we can sell that for means we make more money off the carcass than we would just selling it as a bare carcass. So it's a way of like people, and we could probably sell that at a much more competitive price compared to other people that are selling bone broth. We could probably compete with them on that.
Yeah.
Because it's effectively just cream on the top.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus, exactly. So everyone wins. We get a bit more money. They're not paying above and beyond.
And they haven't got the waste to deal with because, like, people, if you boil up a chicken and all the bits in it, you've always got to, like,
it's one thing.
it's a bit
Conscious
of a-
people that want to really do the
Put it in the
bits
bin.
and
The bin
other
has to go out that day,
I know,
otherwise
it's
the
a bit
bin's
of a
stinking.
faff, isn't it?
Yeah, you did it with your last chicken. You did.
Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
do try to, and then make stock.
You boiled it up and made
left
stock
it in the
of
oven for a
A
little
little
while.
bit too long after that. Yeah, that's right. After you got stuff off it. That's right. I do remember that.
remember
I
that?
recall.
I think we threw away the pan as well, didn't we?
That's right.
Yes,
that was unfortunate.
I've done that before.
That was.
Also, not the only
There's
one.
some smell like it gets further on top. You think, this is furry. Should we?
Aye, it's
You
one of
remember
those
that?
things. It's hanging over you, a job you have to do,
We've
but you
got
just
a-
can't quite face it.
And then
We've
just-
got a fridge in the shed, and I'd made a big batch of stock, and it was in a big, huge stock pot, and I didn't have any room in the
about it.
fridge, so I went, I'll put it in the shed in the fridge. Totally forgot about it. But 2 weeks later, I came in, I'm like, oh man, what's that smell? And I was like, oh no.
aye.
So I was like, you haven't got to say with the gloves on? Like, oh no.
And what hoops do you have to jump through to sell meat from the farm?
So the beauty of broilers compared to layers is until you kill 10,000 a year, there's almost no regulation, which is
Right.
very, very good. It's very handy for
So you
small.
can
So it's just
sell that meat to the public with no regulate. No.
Well, when you've got all your environmental health stuff,
Food.
we have to have clean, safe spaces to eviscerate in and all that.
Yes.
So we've still got to meet all your standard environmental health
Oh,
stuff.
but, so you're talking about in terms of the actual bird welfare. You don't
In
have
terms
to do
of the
any
actual
inspections.
bird welfare, in terms of the poultry unit inspecting us,
Yeah.
there's almost nothing. I think it's basically just like the Welfare of the Farm Animals Act. It just says make sure you don't.
Yeah,
abuse
just
your
like any
animals.
animal.
Yes,
and
exactly.
you don't mistreat animals.
Which is good and bad in some ways because it's open to abuse, but it's also open for people to have
Okay.
flexible systems,
Yeah.
which is what we want in small scale.
Yeah, but more so with the actual selling to the public, you have to have East Ayrshire Council. No, you'll be North
You'll be
Ayrshire
North,
Council.
I'll be North,
Like environmental
So
health.
we've got environmental health certificate, to say. So what we do is
What, a once a year inspection or something, or
once a year or once every.
and that's for eggs as well. Do you need that for eggs too? Or?
Yeah, so eggs. So the eggs is both poultry unit inspections, the Scottish Poultry Unit.
Okay.
So they're the ones that license you. They're the ones that give us our producer code and our packing centre numbers.
Yeah.
So that's who regulate us. And then environmental health do the actual side for like contamination and stuff like that. So they want to make sure that when we're collecting them in the field and we're bringing them back in, that there's no points where eggs can get contaminated with
Yeah.
something where people get ill.
Yeah.
The poultry unit are going, do we meet regulations for space for birds? And, are we making sure they're also, there's a bit of crossover there,
Is that expensive?
No, there's no.
Is it quite easy?
You
Are they
don't
all
have
right?
to. You don't have to pay for a poultry. You just apply. It's a government-based thing. There's no. I don't think there's any fees, is there?
And they're
have
quite
to-
easy to work with.
Do you have to? Do you have to stamp your eggs? No.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, we do. So the rule is if you're under 350 and you're selling directly from your farm gate or direct to a door-to-door to a customer, you don't have to register if you don't want to.
Okay.
But once you hit 350 birds, you must register regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are under 350 but you start selling to businesses or
Yeah.
or outside of those two, like farm gate or to person, then you must register.
Yeah.
But when you have chickens now, you always have to register with like APHA because of bird flu.
Yeah.
No matter your size now, they want to
Yeah.
know because a lot of bird flu cases are in small backyard flocks.
Yeah, that aren't
Um,
sticking to the rules.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Or
Or,
wild bird access, isn't
more
it?
likely to mix with
Wild birds.
wild birds, aren't
Yeah.
they? If they're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
roaming
exactly.
around. Yeah.
And that's always
Like us
been
here.
Yeah.
always been a fear for us is we are very outdoors.
Yeah.
based,
Yeah, that's it.
and we're bound by a river. So
But could you, if you had to shut them in the coop, they'd be all right, would they? Bit tight. You need
I
to reduce the
don't.
numbers.
It would be. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it would be. It meets regulation and stuff, but I still wouldn't. It's the same amount of space that commercial birds get, but when a commercial bird has 15,000 birds, the size of the shed is so big that an individual bird has huge amounts of space to walk in.
Yeah.
On ours, we're still giving them the same space, but because there's only
just a wee
300
shed.
in a shed,
Aye.
in a coop, their space is small.
True.
So we have 2 floors. We have an upper floor and a lower floor, and the upper floor has scratch space in it.
Yeah, okay.
And this is our biggest crux with the rules is when you're in a pasture-based system, we don't think you need. We think you can be much more dense in numbers in the coop for floor space. So it's nine birds per square metre is the most number of birds you're allowed per square metre. If you're organic, it's 6. But what we say is, in a commercial system, because, like we spoke about, maybe 10% of birds go out at a time, the vast majority are inside. And in bigger numbers, there's much more issues socially as well with the birds. Whereas in smaller numbers, when we open the doors in the morning, they're all out. So inside is just where they lay their eggs and where they sleep, and that's it. They come in for feed and water, but that's
a few extra. They're getting heat and
exactly. So what we say to them is, you're still going to need a minimum space because to meet your perching requirements, which the perching requirements are pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And the nest box requirements are spot. In fact, nest box requirements could you probably do with more nesting than the minimum. They still pretty much dictate your floor space on the lower floor. So what I'm saying is, why do we have to have the upper floor with the scratch space? Because we don't have a single bird goes up and uses the scratch space because they go outside and scratch. There's no worms and stuff in the
Yeah, they know there's nothing
in the
up
wooden
there, so why
shaving bed
bother?
and upstairs, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So we're trying to say to them, like, I guess the problem is with rules, and what's really hard for them, and I don't envy, is that
They can't do every individual
you have to make
body.
them fit all.
Yeah.
You have to make them fit.
yeah.
It's a blanket thing.
Yeah.
So you have to, if we made those rules, they're very open to abuse and interpretation.
Yes.
And it's hard for them to regulate because,
Aye.
you're only doing like a yearly inspection or,
Yeah.
every second year or whatever. So that's difficult. So we roll with it, but coop design is the single hardest thing we've come up against. That's
I to meet the requirements, especially building it yourself.
exactly.
Easy
So
to
that's
just-
why we built ourselves, because we wanted something that was mobile on wheels. We're on undulating ground, so we want something that can change, and we can tilt it left, right, back, and forward. All the rest, so the egg box is always
Oh, okay.
Oh, sit level.
Roll away.
Yeah, sit level.
Right.
Yeah, it's clever. Yeah, and we will get a clip of it on for the YouTube. Anyone watching the YouTube. Now, I'm very conscious of time. We're way over. We're like an hour and 6 minutes.
Are we?
It
Not
absolutely
way
flies
over,
by,
right.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fantastic business. I think it's ramstanefarm.com is the website. Is it?
Ramstanefarm.co.uk.
.co.uk.
Our website's under a bit of rework now, so if you go on and it's not working,
But the contact details will be there if they
contact
want
details
to.
are all on there. Yeah, there's a contact us form if people want to
Got a
get in touch.
Facebook page and that.
Got a Facebook
Yeah.
page,
We
Instagram,
do. We follow
Ramstane
the
Farm as
Facebook.
well.
Right, okay.
And we've obviously done the broilers. We've touched on the eggs. Is there anything else? Do you do? You don't do lamb boxes? Do you source that from other people and do it?
No,
or?
we've done some lamb and some beef. We basically rear for ourselves and we just sell some excess.
Okay.
But we don't really have
Push it
enough
because you-
to do that. Yeah, we can feed us and our family.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I did see on the website something about not holistic yoga, about yoga.
Oh, we've done some yoga retreat days in the past as well. So we have like a big bell tent that we would set up and people when we do that. and
Iona, usually my co-host is
Yeah.
Iona.
Yeah, yeah.
normally.
She loves all that stuff, doesn't
Mhm,
she?
She's into that, yeah.
into wellness and Reiki.
Reiki.
You know
Yeah,
Reiki?
yeah.
She's just done a Reiki course.
Meditation.
Jill's sister does Reiki.
She does Reiki
Right, there
and lymphatic drainage
Meditation.
Yes.
stuff like
and
that.
wellness and all that stuff. Yeah. She's big into it, so she would love.
People love it. People love it. I mean, we
you
have
still do them? Well, obviously not just now. You're pregnant.
occasionally. We haven't done them as recently. More because we've just been so busy
Yeah.
with the farm and stuff. But yes, Jill's got a business doing fabric and paint. So she's got a business called the Garden Room
Okay.
on the farm now. So she does fabrics for.
Yeah, we saw that when we went in the literal garden room. That's that nice wee bespoke built.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of, we're kind of trying to put some focus into that as well now, because we're integrating that with the farm, and people love coming down to buy fabrics, but they love like seeing the alpacas
Yeah,
and
okay.
people that wouldn't necessarily
See those
go
animals.
to a farm
yeah.
every day, and they get to come in and
Something different.
something a bit
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
and they really
Yeah.
enjoy to work, and they're all
It probably
serious. and
suits
ask
your
a lot of
customer
questions.
base too. People with a bit extra income to buy nice things would be the way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, the eggs is very wide. Eggs is very broad. Like
Eggs, perhaps, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps,
chicken.
yeah.
Chicken. It's kind of early yet to say, but yes, it would. You would certainly assume it would be. You need to have more disposable income for that kind of
But
stuff.
to be fair, I
But
think anyone that's buying organic,
we do have a few customers that are not. they're not people with a lot of disposable income, but they really value
Prioritise them.
they
Conscious.
they're
Very
very food
conscious.
conscious, and
Yeah.
they prioritise the fact
Health.
that we're high welfare and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they're willing to pay more. They see the value in it.
Sacrifice
And-
other things,
and-
isn't it, for your food, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
which
really
we should
important.
do and which
Yeah.
we've forgotten about these
don't
days, I
need all
think.
these
Well, you look at
fancy-
percentage of your wage
Yeah.
you spend on food now as it was
used to be 30% or whatever
now
it
it's
was,
like
and-
10 or
Aye.
11, something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Crazy. And well, folk have that much, takeaways and all this stuff. Like,
Fancy
folk spend all this
clothes
money and all
and-
this
Of
stuff.
course.
Was it the consumerization
Oh,
culture?
could be.
And
Yeah,
we're just
capitalism.
keep buying and keep buying and keep buying and just.
Aye. Rather than me,
Yeah,
if anyone's
just-
watching this podcast, I've actually wore this t-shirt in the
I know, I
last
had
4
to change
podcasts.
it just because I thought
Are you
like.
changing yours because you're wearing the same t-shirt all the time? I've worn the same, like it's
It's good for
smells
editing.
fine. Out in the fresh air. Aye, it's easy.
You can cut to clips for other
I can
podcasts.
put myself on any podcast. I wear the same thing.
Aye.
So it's not. We don't need to worry about that there. But no, it's just you did touch on this fabric thing. I just wonder one thing you said about doing this. You've had a lot to learn and you made a lot of mistakes. Like, what props the whole thing up? Is it did you bring? Do you still work as a mechanical engineer, or did you bring money over? Like, because what you're doing here is you're gonna have to lose money before you make money.
Aye, I worked as a mechanical engineer for can't remember how many years. But Jill still does part-time primary teaching, so Jill's a primary teacher.
So you're still working.
She still works part-time. She's obviously going to stop soon for maternity leave. And then I did the mechanical engineering, and then I stopped that to do more of the farming. But we had money from, like, for buying the farm, we had money from family,
Okay.
stuff like that helped
Yeah.
us. And then I have a separate business for some commercial property
Yeah,
that we
okay.
do rental in, and that
Good.
brings in, that helps me to
Yeah.
pay my wage so that I can run the farm effectively.
Yeah, it's good.
You know,
It helps prop the
I-
whole thing
yeah,
up
I mean,
until,
I'm not-
until you
I-
get
I-
it running on its own 2 feet.
Make no bones about it. We're in a lucky and a privileged position.
Yeah.
And we are lucky to be in the position we're in, which has allowed us a lot of freedom and flexibility to almost make those mistakes. Not that we want to make the mistakes, but
No,
we've been
but-
able to make it and it's
And
not
still
been
survive,
ending.
aye.
It's still
You're
survive.
right in
Yeah.
what you're saying. It's a luxury to be able to
So,
make mistakes. Yeah.
For us now, we really want to try and teach others. So we want to try and do, we're trying to set up poultry courses now so that we've got people keep coming to us and saying we want to start having some chickens and doing that. And we'd like to try and help them as much as we can so that they can skip some of those mistakes.
So you
you
could
know.
do some consultancy work for Lizzie.
That's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, absolutely. I think we could certainly look at something like that and do something.
I mean, I
get
did
some help.
look at, like, when I built the coops, I did look at here I could possibly make this a business, but I just can't see a lot of people wanting to pay the money
Either
that
way.
it would
Yeah.
cost.
What
to make it
would
an
they
actual
cost?
business. If you wanted to buy one, it'd probably be somewhere in the region of £50,000. It's so. I mean,
I think the one we
Germany.
saw from Germany was
35,
30.
yeah.
So the
30.
German one I looked at, which was from Farmer Mobile, was
I think that's the same one. I think.
yeah. So
yeah.
it was a 300 bird unit non-organic was 50,000,
Right.
and the organic 300 bird unit was €90,000.
Mental,
Oh,
isn't
maybe
it?
not. I thought the one we looked
Mental.
at was 30 odd. Maybe it's smaller, right enough. Must have been smaller.
Yeah,
I was
maybe
like,
a small one.
I
They do
want
like
to
a 200 or 220 bird
say-
unit.
yeah, I want to say it was like a
The
32,000.
300 organic one is like 440 conventional. And in Germany, because Germany's rules are slightly different again.
Okay.
But Germany seem to value that a lot more. There's a lot of them about.
Right,
There's a lot of businesses doing that, which means there's people buying them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's at least, I think there's at least 4 companies I know that do mobile.
Right,
Like
okay.
free range organic.
Yeah. And for us, the problem was we wanted to move them every day and we didn't have the mobility. So I went, right. And I'm an engineer. I just always get so
You love the
curious.
challenge.
And I just
Yeah.
love the exactly.
Yeah.
I love building things. So
But yeah, 50 grand would be a fair investment
yes,
before you.
yeah.
Before you get that
There's
back.
nothing.
I would feel bad. I
People
would feel
listening,
bad asking
people listening
somebody
thinking,
for 50 grand. This is why I say to the poultry unit, I can make this for 50 grand and people could keep so many more birds in it than 300, which would make more sense because the payback's quicker.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And that's why I think, like, if we could do that, it'd be great. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things, you know?
But that's a big factor. But no, interesting that you're thinking about opening up for consultancy. So I dare say there'll be people listening thinking about something similar, although you probably just put them off it with the price of the.
No, I mean, what I've done is, so got a bit of context to the coops is I've got muscular dystrophy. So every year, my physical capacity diminishes because my muscles waste away in my upper body.
So is that just gonna like you're just gonna be like buggered at some point?
Probably. I mean,
But does it get worse every year? Does it?
no, well, that's the
To
thing.
be fair,
it's-
we all get worse every
Yeah,
year. That's a bad
well,
example.
the thing is, they don't actually know. They can't tell
Right.
you. It might
Right,
plateau. This might be it.
Right.
It might get worse. It's one of those ones when you look at me, you don't necessarily see it, you know.
No,
but it's
no,
like
no.
it's like that's the highest I can lift my hands, and you can hear
Is
me
it?
straining
Right,
because
okay.
your muscle that holds your scapula down don't function in mine, so my scapula is just fly about all the place.
Right.
So I built these coops
To help
because
you.
I said to me, I want to be as lazy as I can be. I want to do as little time a day as I can get away with. So I can, on my quick days, I can be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
On my slow days, I can be an hour and a half with the chickens, all the chickens.
That's
And
it
I've got
done.
the broilers
Yeah.
down to 9 minutes a day.
Right.
You know, the maintenance, just going out feeding them, watering them, moving them. I can do that in 9 minutes. You know,
Good, that.
and so I make my systems to be highly mobile, highly efficient. For me, you don't have to do that. That's just
You could do
that's
more
just
manual
because I
labour.
could do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
did,
It's good that you can
so
do that.
There's much simpler ways to design coops. You can jerry rig stuff together, no bother. Farmers are very good at that. You know,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
taking something and repurposing.
We could
Aye.
if we were going to do it, I'd say we could certainly start smaller scale and
I think the guy on my brother's farm, he builds.
get an old cattle
sheds
float.
now.
Do you know what I mean? And just convert it, like
True.
stuff like that. There's loads of ways to do it.
yeah, 'cause and you'd like a polytunnel type thing.
So our first one was just a 10 by 20 foot polytunnel.
Yeah.
We had 2 of them. We bought them brand new because you can't really get a second 10 by
Right.
20 foot polytunnel. It's not already destroyed. So we bought 2 of them, and I just made this little like tubular steel frame,
Yeah.
with some cross bracing, and we put it in that. But we modified it like 4 times because the poultry unit would come out and go, "Oh, we need this and we need that," and I'd go, "Okay."
I keep forgetting about them.
So we
Yeah,
had
can I
like
just
we
use
had like a
anything?
nest
Yeah.
box, and then we had like scratch piece on top of the nest box to try and make up.
Oh, what they wanted.
Because
Yeah.
you need a minimum 1/3 of your floor space must be scratch space, which we think is a bonkers rule.
Aye,
Because
when they're outside all
in
day.
pasture poultry, 'cause even in winter, they go outside and they get soaking wet. They're manky because they're bathing in wet
Yeah.
soil,
Yeah.
you know. And we just say to them, they always come in and go, "Wait, there's nobody upstairs," and I go, "Yeah, I know. There's no
Because they don't need that, but
don't
it's,
need
as
it.
you say, they're not used to seeing your system.
No.
It's unusual.
rules are rules."
But no, and I suppose one just to obviously get wrapped up, but from our own selfish question point of view, does that your system do turkeys? Not see your plucking systems that do any size bird? Does it have to be chickens? Would turkeys be too big?
The tank, the skull.
I don't know about the skull tank. You could probably do like maybe 1 turkey at a time. You might get 2 in
Okay,
it.
right.
And
Oh, you
we-
do more than one bird at a time. You just
we
throw,
do-
you just hoying them in there.
We do
and-
4 birds at a time.
Right. Okay.
So
aye.
our process is based on 4 birds. The plucker, if you put in 3, it's not enough. It doesn't pluck very well. If you put in 5, it's too many. It doesn't pluck very well.
Right, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So for
you're
us-
throwing 4 birds in the
4
plucker at
birds in the
once.
pluck. Yeah, the birds. You need the birds to roll off each other to pull the feathers off.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so one bird on
right.
its own doesn't pluck very well
Right.
because you need that friction between all the birds to create. the
Right. I thought it was just the one
plucking
bird get battered about, and that was
No,
it.
no.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't.
So
I can find
I-
out the drum plucker whether there's
Right. Aye. that
turkeys
just-
or not. Sorry, I think you can, but I think you need to change your rubber fingers if my memory serves me
okay.
right. I think that's what.
It's not impossible then.
Oh,
Something to look at. But no, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Colin before we wrap up about the business? I mean, feel free to sell yourself or anything you want. I mean, do you need? Well, you want to do more retail eggs, so the option is there. People
more
could
retail
buy
eggs. If people want to do eggs, yeah, let us know. We do a local run, so we go kind of South Craigs, Fenwick, Stewart, and Comores
Yep.
area. That kind of immediate area. We do a run there every Friday. So if people want eggs and they're in that area, get in touch. We could add them on the run. You know, the more people we do, the more efficient the run becomes. So
Absolutely.
it works
that's
for us. And then if they want chicken, we can just add that into the run as well.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah, and we deliver to Glasgow. Obviously, we do. That's our main wholesale run.
Yes.
So, and if people are in Edinburgh and they want our stuff, then if they look at the local Abundance Rico group in Edinburgh, that's
Okay.
they buy from us monthly.
Yep.
So if you join that group, you can just put in an order for our stuff.
And pick up
Okay.
somewhere in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. It's, so we're slowly getting further afield. We're going to set a shop up on the website so people can ding it and probably mail it out because I think that's going to be easiest.
Yeah.
I think us hand delivering, it does have
Yeah.
quite a lot of limitations.
Time.
Absolutely.
Time.
Can you mail out eggs?
You can. There are companies that do it.
Right.
There's boys down south do it, but what they
The sheer
basically
cost of packaging would
well, what
ruin
they
it,
do is they
doesn't it?
take a whole box of 180, and if you can order 30 minimum, and what they do is they put in like 6 full trays, and they put like 5 in each tray,
Right.
and then they send it out. So to me, it seems very wasteful, and the
Wait,
risk of
no.
things getting smashed are just too easy. So it's really annoying.
More
but
for the chicken, you could do
more
it.
for the
but-
chicken.
yeah.
Yeah.
We ordered those eggs off eBay for the incubator. didn't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, but I mean that's different.
Aye,
You're
I know
getting
it's different, I
actual
know, but I
niche-
just-
I think
I
a lot of
know,
people
but-
package them like in bubble wrap. and stuff,
Well,
don't
they were
to
like
keep them-
styrofoam.
boxes.
Oh, they're
boxes.
pretty invincible,
Aye,
right?
they were.
Yeah, but that's a bit of a niche.
Yeah,
thing.
I know.
You wouldn't
I
order
know.
that for
No,
eggs to eat every week.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If we could get a packaging that could take fair abuse with eggs in it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
you're usually looking at things like styrofoam and
Can't
a lot of
trust the.
plasticky
Plastic
stuff.
and
It's
yeah,
kind of-
which ruins the image of what you're trying to do as
yeah,
well.
it's kind of not what we want.
Do you,
so.
so I mean, one thing. Do you talk down other farming practices? Do
We
you
talk down.
Yeah,
What, you mean
like
like
when
the
you're trying to
conventional
s-
stuff?
Yeah.
No, well, this is the hard thing, and this is the debate. This is the thing me and Jill always talk about. It's very hard. What we try to do is just focus on us and what we do.
Yep.
But it's so hard to highlight the positives without insinuating
I know
negatives.
what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to poultry, most people are already very aware because there's a lot of social media stuff goes about
Yes.
about chicken, about
Health
chicken
and
being such an
welfare.
abused industry.
Yeah.
So, and the way I see it is, most guys that are doing commercial chickens, they're farmers, like I'm farming, like you. They're doing the best they can, and
Well-
they don't. It's not like they're out there
It's
to
one of the most
abuse animals.
No,
They're
no.
Well,
doing,
it's one of the most regulated industries.
they're doing what they know.
Yeah, they're
Do
getting
you know what I mean?
inspections
And
constantly, and
eggs are generally poultry farms seem to be very generational as well, like a lot of farm businesses.
Yeah.
So they're passing down so they're learning from the parents and they're doing what they know.
Yeah.
So they're not. No one's a bad person. So I wouldn't go out and go, these guys are. I just think that's the wrong attitude.
Yeah.
I think just focus on yourself and what you can do to make a difference. That's what we're trying to do.
which is what I like. There's some people do some things similar to yourself that their whole selling point is they do this, and
Aye,
we do
we do that,
rather than
no.
say tell us what you do. Stop
Yeah,
trying to run
yeah.
down other farmers that are doing their
Exactly.
best and are within the rules. It's not like they're bad
But
guys. They're within
we've
the
had
rules.
this chat here about the broilers and about how they can go off their feet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of when we say, "Oh, we get them outside because we want them to have a life." Well, you're automatically inferring that most birds are inside.
Yeah.
It's that thing. It's the
Which
problem.
they
You
are.
can't.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they
yeah. I know
are,
what you're saying.
they
Yeah,
are.
I know what you're saying.
But
But,
what
you're
it
not
is, I'm not
specifically saying
trying
it.
to-
But you're also fortunate, as you say, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
yeah.
we already
Yeah,
know
yeah.
like how chickens are done. We've all seen
Yeah.
the videos, and all right, we maybe picture it worse than actually what it really is.
Yeah.
But they
Of
get
course,
the idea.
of course, yeah. You get delusions of grandeur and
You-
whatnot.
you-
But what we do is we say to people, because people say, "Are you organic as well?" That's the one question we get. We go, "No, we're not. We feed organic. We meet the regulations for organic, but we don't see the need to pay the certification because we
okay.
can never sell enough eggs. So we just say we're customer certified." Because we say to a customer, if you're not sure, come down to the farm. We'll show you the birds,
Yeah.
and you can decide for yourself. Because
You've
I think
got-
that's the best way.
You've
is
got your
know
invoices for Norvite
your
of
farm.
the organic feed.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
So-
We've got the little labels that come and
Right,
stuff like that.
okay.
You know,
So you're not actually organic certified.
we're not organic certified, but we do all the organic stuff because it's what we want to do. It's what we believe is right.
Yeah.
It's giving organic feed.
Yeah, but and you think it's too expensive to pay for the certification?
There's money involved in the certification, but I was ironically talking to someone the other day, and they were saying that they believe that there's, and this I actually don't know this, so that they help give you a lot of they give you a lot of financial help towards certification. A lot of times, like a soil association and that can help. So I don't actually know, but I think it's like £500 to certify. But the way we see it is, I do some soil consultancy stuff. I do some soil biology. I look at soil samples through a microscope and tell people what they have in their soils biologically wise. And I sent somebody recently a product called Goop. It's just compost, and it's just they extract the liquid off it, and it's just got all the biology that we need for good soil.
Yeah.
And I sent them, and they're organic, and they said, "Oh, I need to get a derogation for this." So we then had a chat with the organic body, and they're saying we need to know exactly what's in the compost. We need to have a non-GMO declaration. Now, I get the non-GMO part, and it was like we had to go back to the company we bought it from, and they say, "Well, it consists mainly of this," and they said, "No, not mainly. We need to know exactly." And they said, "But it varies literally every batch. It's
Right.
compost. We're
Yeah.
putting in green
Well,
waste
it's
and
bacteria.
exactly."
That's it, yeah.
And that kind of side of thing, I go, that's the kind of thing that frustrates me. Is
Aye, too
you're-
much faff.
and I'm sitting here going, "This is a highly perishable product. We need to get this sorted quick. Otherwise, this person's now got a product that they've paid for that they can't use."
Well, it dies, doesn't it? It's
Yeah,
live.
it dies, exactly.
It dies.
It's living organisms.
Yeah.
They die, they run out of oxygen, they're not in their natural environment. So that kind of side of thing,
You would very much like.
I'm not sure about. But organic for me is super important,
Yeah.
so I like organic. I see organic as the label of trust. For when the consumer doesn't know the farmer, we need the person in between. And for me, organic's the way of when you go through supermarkets, you can get more trust in what you're buying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, whereas they
Um,
know the farmer. They see,
Exactly.
they see what you're doing.
If you know the farm, you come down and, we're happy to show people the organic feed and go, right, this is what we're doing and we're trying our best. And I would say for the pasture poultry side of things, I would far rather see birds out being pasture raised on non-organic feed than seeing birds being kept conventionally on organic feed.
Aye, yeah.
Because the pasture raised bit's what makes the quality of the yolk. It's
Yeah.
the fact that they're getting the chlorophyll and all the other chemicals from the grasses to help make the rich yolks,
Okay.
because we can dye yolks, we can dye yolk
Aye, they do
colours with
with,
feed, so people say to me,
paprika.
"Oh, they've got
Ah, right.
I have to break the news to people that a colour of a yolk is not an indicator of quality because we can manipulate it so easily with feed.
Oh, does commercial feed.
There was,
there's always paprika, marigold flowers.
paprika. There's a brand of egg on the shelf that everyone went mad for recently. The Burford Browns, was it? No.
Yeah, Burford Browns are known for their rich yolks. That's their kind of that's their
they have
unique
good
selling
yolks.
point.
Yeah.
But I always say people, if you want to know the good quality of a yolk, see those yolks are really dark orange. I say them boil them hard boiled and have them in a cup of butter. We call it a chooky egg.
Aye.
You know, I said you can't hide from a hard boiled yolk. You can't hide if it's rubbish. It'll taste rubbish because it gets very grainy and weird. A runny yolk there's so much fat on it. It coats your tongue. You can all feel very rich because there's a lot of fat in it.
Yeah.
So I say to people, hard boil it and have it with butter, and you'll know how good it is. And the orange ones, when you hard boil them, they go this really weird kind of orange colour. You know, this weird like pale orange, and it looks dead odd to me. So I say to people, generally like bright yellows, but even then, you can manipulate to a point. So if we put our birds inside, say we had a lockdown and we had to put them like in the polytunnel, and they didn't get access to grass, all the yolks would go really pale,
Right.
and you'd be like, oh my god. That's why I fear lockdown so much.
because it ruin your brand.
Just the birds wouldn't get in. The birds wouldn't get the access they need to what makes
Most
the eggs
people
so
be right
good.
up this way because it comes across the southeast of England.
Touch wood.
We've
We've been
been
good for
very
a while.
lucky. We've been very
good for a
lucky.
while. Yeah.
And it's a winter as well. Like my brother doesn't struggle because they have to shut them in the winter. It's not as hot.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
Our problem
the
is the
one thing.
birds get so used to being outside and foraging that when you lock them in, they turn on each other and they attack each
that's
other and
it,
start pecking.
yeah.
And once they see
Because they're
blood,
getting stressed.
once they see a bit of
Oh,
blood,
no,
that's
that's
it.
bad for it, man.
They all just want to pet the blood, so you have to be in there,
Get them out.
get them out, get them bandaged up. We've got we have a little igloo that's a hospital pen, so
Right,
if any
yeah.
bird ever gets ill, we have a wee hospital pen. But you end up in lockdown, that hospital pen would
that's-
get full.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what hens do? If they see a bit of blood, they just go mad for
Yes,
it?
yeah. They'll just because they're omnivores.
So
So people
sensitive.
people forget that hens' diet is mainly like modern diet is mainly vegetarian, but hens are meant to eat bugs and
Yeah,
grubs
saying
and
like
insects. They're meant to eat
frogs
animals
Yeah.
and things like that. So that they're omnivores. You know, their B12 should come from animal sources.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah.
So, but there's again, and that's another thing with the feed we want to try and there's a lot of trials going with like black soldier fly larvae. That's the kind of big thing now. And we'd like to try and incorporate that as a natural protein source.
Well, there was a thing on TV not long ago, the maggot farmer. A guy was farming
Right.
maggots. It wasn't in the UK, I don't think.
Or mealworm, no? Maggots or meals.
Well, it was maggots in this
Right, okay.
instance because the big question was how do you know how to get rid of them before they start turning into flies type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that was for chickens. I want to say it was like Thailand or something like that.
Yeah,
You know?
it was probably that like is it mealworms is the other one?
Yeah,
They're like
they're
mealworms.
popular, aren't they?
These black soldier flies, they pupate when they get to a certain stage. They want to like crawl out of their space, and that's how you know they're ready.
Okay,
You can feed
so as they
them to the
start doing
birds.
that, you just start feeding them
Yeah.
to the birds.
Right.
The birds would love it too because a wee challenge.
But
Maybe.
like Morrison's, like a year ago or whatever, said they were buying eggs from somebody that was doing the black soldier fly, and they were calling them carbon neutral because they were not using soy.
Right.
Okay.
But when you read the actual paper, it was like 2% of their feed was substituted. So they were still
Yes.
using it. So it was very much greenwashing in my
a
opinion.
lot of
you
it,
know.
aye, a
It's
lot
very,
of it's
It was
that.
very frustrating because it's not fair for the consumer. when
No, they don't
think-
know what they're
When you
eating.
think they're buying,
Yeah.
they're consciously better.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a bit of a lie,
Aye.
a fugazi. It's just a
Aye.
yeah. Okay. Well, listen, we're way over. We're well into it there. We could actually sit and chat forever.
Oh, it's been good.
But fantastic. We will be in touch again. I'm sure
Absolutely.
Lizzie and I would love to come and
Yeah.
have a wee look
Welcome
round
anytime, aye,
Yeah.
if that's
absolutely.
okay with you. And we'll get some good pictures and stuff for the YouTube.
Yeah.
Colin, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. And we're back. Thanks to everyone for listening. I was actually thinking at the start though if we mentioned old Headwatch. Did we mention Headwatch?
I think we must have. Yes, because you said about them getting a good deal, but I don't know if we really.
Okay, that was enough I mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you very much to Headwatch and to Crystalyx for sponsoring the podcast. You
Yep.
heard about them in that podcast there. Maybe we need to we should probably record a new
Yeah.
chatting one more
Yeah,
professional.
let's do that. Yeah.
Instead of just you giggling all the time.
Oh, I need to work on that.
Nice giggle, but
Thank you.
it's infectious. Anything else you want to tell us, Iona? Are we doing a Friday chat this week?
I'm probably not, if
No.
truth be told, because
Westmoreland.
we're busy. Westmoreland and Kelso. So
Westmoreland and Kelso. I should do a podcast from Kelso
yes.
and a vlog.
Yep.
Right, I'll try and vlog and podcast from Kelso. Might be ambitious to do both. Podcast the night before.
Yes.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Just audio though, probably.
I got you a nice wee place to stay the night before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Random?
It's really nice. Really nice.
Off a farmer.
Genuinely
or-
nice. No, a hotel.
Oh, is it?
Lovely. Got a really good deal. I don't know why it's such a bargain.
Okay.
Maybe you'll find out.
Yeah. What's nice about the hotel?
Like, it just looks gorgeous. Called like Roxburgh Schloss or something. It really nice. You get breakfast and that included. It's like a big castle.
Okay. Is it quite near?
Yeah, 17 minutes or something.
Ah, that's okay. No, that's nice. Thanks.
Sorry, I don't know why I told everybody that.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That's good. So, yes, you'll see us at Westmoreland Show Wednesday, Thursday, and at Kelso on Thursday night. We'll have it open and rocking Thursday night, will we? Is it worth having it open and rocking Thursday night?
I'm driving the van up Thursday night. I'm not down till Friday morning.
I have a feeling it'd be busy on Thursday night, but then MD's there Thursday. You know, Thursday night folk are
Oh,
still
yeah, of course. People will be dropping
I feel
their
like we should
tops
have it
off
open.
and that, yeah. It's going to be tight though because we're at Westmoreland till close and then over to Kelso. So
True, so it'll be late enough.
it'll be too late, I think.
Okay, just Friday for Kelso. And we'll see you there. But I will try and get over and get some podcasting done. So that's it for this week. Anything else you like to add, Iona?
No, I'm
Before I
happy.
do the wee bit. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we are all
Fed by farmers.
Welcome to the